Hello?
Good morning.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm so happy you're here. Thank you so much for going through this trouble.
That's all right. I'm just waiting for your screen to load up for me, and then we'll get the video on.
Yeah, it's not, hang on, because I sometimes have trouble with this, which is why we're testing. Um, One second.
Oh, I'm excited for this game.
Me too. It's going to be really good.
Oh, yes. Oh, oh, wow. 7 degrees.
Can you see me
There we
now?
go. And me.
Brilliant. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to screen share, and that way you'll see everything I'm seeing.
Okay, cool. Easy. Sharing. Yes. Let's make that full screen.
Oh, that's weird. Where's your picture go? Did it?
I'm sharing.
Yeah, hang on. I'm going to do it differently. Hang on. Where did your camera go?
I'm still sharing because I can still see both of mine
Yeah,
and
you
yours.
shouldn't. Are you sharing your screen?
I'm sorry, no, I'm sharing video
Yeah,
because I
why?
can see myself.
Yeah, that's weird. Hang on one second.
Can you see me
Says,
still?
yeah, yeah. Hang on, let me do
Wow.
that.
5 a.m. is rough.
Yeah, it's worse than the army.
Yeah, yeah. Especially when you're older, as you know. Let's see.
So, can you see my screen now?
Yes, yes, I can.
Okay. All right, good. I'm gonna do this. Now I'm gonna put you on the screen. Hold on a second. It will be going live as soon as you see this. All right, I'll tell you. Okay, cool. Uh, all right, we are live.
We
Welcome,
are live.
everyone. Can you hear us okay? Woohoo! You can hear us already. Very good. Anyway, this is Dr. Norbert calling in from London. And I see my camera is not working, so I got to get that fixed. Let me do that real quick and try it again. Okay. All right, I'll take care of that in a minute. We're here with Josh. Hello, Josh, all the way from Sydney.
Melbourne, actually, but Australian Eastern Seaboard, so close enough.
Cool. Excellent. Well, we're really glad to have you here because we needed somebody who could help us understand what is going on with this really incredible game that's about to happen here. And
Yeah,
we're
happy
just
to be here.
good. We're just having the roll off, as it turns out,
Ooh,
and it
ooh.
looks like
Ryan
Ryan
got
has
it.
got it. Yes, indeed. Hmm.
Let's
Now,
see.
the big deal about tonight's game is that it's web warriors on both sides. Do you have their lists up that you can kind of rattle them off to viewers?
I'm just bringing it up now, but I know they're both rolling Web Warriors, and Mr. Farmer has been on the hill for the core set Peter Parker for a long time, and I had to eat my words and say, you know what, you've made it to top 8 with that. You are onto something here. But he's got Angela, Ghost Spider, Lockjaw, Medusa, Okoye, Then both Spider-Men, Miles and Peter Parker, Toad, Valkyrie, and Venom, which is interesting. It gives him some good extract play options there with Angela, Lockjaw, and the Spider-Man. And then Jaborf has ooh, this is spicy. So looking at Jaborf's roster, he's got Angela, Baron Zemo, Black Panther, Daredevil. Interestingly, all those four are long movers. He's got Enchantress, Ghost Spider, another long mover, Okoye, Miles Morales, Spider-Man, Valkyrie, and Venom. So I would be looking at Jaborf as the favourite for the extra plays here with the long mover options and able to hunt down Ryan's one. So with priority, very curious to see what he selected.
So Ryan has taken secures, as it turns out.
Mhm.
And we're about to see what the crises are. Ooh, we got sword, the crisis of the moment, and fear grips.
Ooh, hammers and sword. This all should be good.
All right, let's see what he points out they pick. And picking 14 points. What do you make of that?
Well, I think the Danger Room guys had a very long, in-depth discussion about this in this last week, especially after my game with Pat. And there's a lot of good consideration there. Ryan mentioned it on his podcast, Strike Better, not in too much detail, but you definitely need a plan. Now, the thing is, with hammers as well, tactics cards are going to cost more. Plus, it costs to interact with sword. I think this is going to be a very power-starved game.
Power starved. Yeah, of course. Web Warriors has that big problem where they are constantly looking for extra power.
Yeah, I think the problem may resolve itself if one player decides to switch to attrition, which we've seen that Jaborf can do. So he may use the characters with hammers to generate power by just beating up on Ryan's. Um, but we shall see. I think that's what I'm anticipating is that Jaborf will have to go the attrition route potentially, because Ryan may do better than what I did and actually go and flip the consoles first. Now, I see the question, can Farmer go wider than Jaborf?
Hmm.
Um,
Are you looking
hmm,
into it?
yeah, I'm just looking at the rosters. So Jaborf, he can go 5 wide at 15. I don't think he can go 14 because he doesn't have two-pointers, whereas Ryan does. So it may be that you'll see it's correct that we see a 5v4 scenario.
Interesting. And that puts, well, so what we've heard is that you need to have the last move. So you need to be wider if you really want to maximize your ability on it.
Yeah, ideally, because if not, you're in trouble.
So it looks like Ryan has gone wide. He's going to take Miles. I guess that's normal Spider-Man. And Gwen, Toad, and Okoye.
Yep.
And we haven't seen yet the Jaborf choices, but that's a nice wide group there. He is he's an advocate of the regular Spider-Man. He's been playing a
Mm-hmm.
lot of it. So it's no surprise that I see it there, and it is helping him because it keeps points lower.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Yep. 4 wide, as discussed.
Wow. All right. So that's Miles, Venom, Gwen, and Enchantress. Now, Jaborf, we've been naming him the Matador of MCP because of his command of the game. He's able to control heavily his opponents so far. Enchantress, Gwen, and Miles are his choices to do that. He different this time is using Venom, which is more of a beater, although it does have the ability to move people forward as well, but definitely a beater. So bit more attrition focused, you think, than Ryan's pure control focused roster? What do you think, team?
Yeah, absolutely. So Venom is a great counter pick into Web Warriors because he shuts off defensive rerolls. So, the Web Warriors rely on Miles leadership or Spider Sense or something like that. But with Venom, you can't modify your defense dice when he attacks you. And all four of those characters, in some regard, have a displacement effect. So Miles on his builder has a wild throw. Venom has a throw, but he also has a web line. Gwen has a web line, and Enchantress has the Siren's Call. So all four of them can, with enough power or on an attack, actually displace someone.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to mention tonight, everybody, that we have the table judge tonight will be the Milo Man, one of our grand accusers, playing with the players. And on the sidelines here in the chat is the accuser AJ P2. If anybody sees anything they wish to alert the players and the table judge about, please message us in the chat or message her directly, and we will relay that as appropriate. All right, taking a look at the table here, we've got a nice chunky piece of size 4 terrain at the bottom. We have Ryan on the right-hand side of the screen, which corresponds to where his roster is. He's putting Miles directly across from that. We've got this very large, I'm pretty sure it's a size 5 table right in the middle.
That's going to be good in some regards in terms of a backstop. If he's sitting on that center console and gets pushed, he can't get pushed away. It may be against him getting drawn in, but it could be nice. Now, noting they're all web warriors or wall crawlers, we all have flight except for Okoye, it's not really going to matter too much. And I'm curious to have a look at the tactics cards because obviously anyone with a hammer is going to have an additional power cost to play them. So Jaborf has Medpack, Advanced R&D, Lethal Protector, which is great to bring Venom forward. I've just lost the other ones.
Oh, can you?
Yep. All webbed up and Bitter Rivals.
Yeah.
They're almost exactly the same for Ryan, who's got all webbed up, Medpack, Brace for Impact, which is the difference, Advanced R&D, and Bitter Rivals. So turns out there's some very consistent and very good tactics cards that a lot of people are taking. In this match, Brace, I'm not sure is going to be huge, maybe, if Miles gets a wild throw into something or Venom tries to finish someone off. I mean, Enchantress has a throw too, but it's very rarely used.
Yeah, I was just going to say, what is Brace getting Ryan here in this match?
Probably not much. Let's have a look at his other tactics cards that he had available in his roster.
All right.
So he didn't bring last minute save because there's no lockjaw. He didn't bring Lethal Protector because he didn't bring Venom, and he didn't bring no matter the cost, which I think in this matchup, he's probably taken gone for the method of exclusion, where it's like, I don't need this, I don't need this, and I don't need that. Therefore, these 5 are the remaining ones.
Yeah.
And they're all good choices because it may come to a key moment where someone's on 1 health and Jaborf has to throw them into the wall or something to try and finish them off, and he pops Brace.
Precisely. I don't think it's going to be a bad card necessarily, but especially in light of what you said, his other choices were, it clearly makes sense to throw that in versus one of those other ones.
Yeah, and the comment in the chat is correct that Brace has to trigger once to be useful, but it's about when. The longer you hold on to it, the more powerful it becomes. Yeah, and as Darren said, they all have throws. Whether or not they use them is a different story because I honestly think this is going to be a very power-starved game, and you're going to have to be very clever about how you spend that power because if you don't have power after a throw, you can't interact with the console. So it's going to be tough choices all around, I think.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see how Jaborf handles this because from the last two games I've seen of his, he's very good, but also a bit unconventional. So, how Pat went against me 5 wide, totally unaffiliated, I'm expecting that Jaborf might do some things here that we weren't expecting at all.
Right. So I wanted to go back to the fact that there's a size 5 piece of terrain. You did mention everybody's a web crawler, but this is a perfect backstop for the middle console.
Yeah, the thing there, so it can stop him getting pushed away. He can get pushed laterally. Whoever is in the middle on Ryan's side, but if it's Jaborf's character in the middle and Ryan wins the sword, he can still push them away from that size 5 piece of terrain.
Hmm.
Conversely, Jaborf could use that into his advantage to draw someone closer to his. So if Venom gets stuck out the back, he gets pushed away. He's still got a range 3 attack, but if he's got the sword console, he could bring them closer. But it is a nice backstop.
Yeah, and let's not forget, Jaborf had choice of table edges, and this is what he's chosen. So
Mm.
I'm going to assume that he has a good plan for it.
Yeah, I'm tipping that ambulance is a size 3 as well, and that potentially if Venom is in the middle, he may have his throw online. I'm just going to have a
Just
quick look at this.
while you do that, I'm just mentioning to the folks at home that Josh not only was one of the finalists in season 5, but he's also up at 5 a.m. for this match, and we thank you very much for that. But we wanted somebody who's been through all this and watching the game, so knows a bit about Ryan's playstyle.
Yeah, oh, it's all right, and plus I had to be up a little bit before 5 a.m. so I could, get in front of the computer dressed and
Well, look,
coherent.
as a fellow bald man, isn't it wonderful? You just kind of rock up to the cameras, no problem.
Yeah, well, I think that's a nice, like a segue conversation we could have about the current state of the world. But for me, I've been shaving my head for many years, and now with lockdowns and what people getting around with all sorts of weird and wonderful hair because they can't get into a barber, it's like I can do this myself.
Love it. Right. And okay, what are you finding out? You were just looking into something.
Yeah, that Venom's got a size 3 throw
Hmm.
within range 2 and can throw medium. So that center console having that ambulance nearby, he could potentially use that. He might have been looking at what pieces of terrain around could he throw.
Yeah.
Now, I'm assuming the green template is Ryan. He's using the strike better template, which makes sense.
So let me point out
Um,
to the audience real quick. We have Ryan positioning Toad and Miles Morales on his left flank for the hammer and the sword console. In the middle, he's also double teaming with Okoye and Ghost Spider. And he's leaving Spider-Man, Peter Parker, on the right. Not quite right, though. He looks like he could be on either center, going for the center or the right-hand side. Meanwhile,
mm,
Jaborf has completely loaded up the middle. He's got Venom smack dab in the middle, flanked by Enchantress and Ghost Spider, and leaving on the left-hand side Miles Morales. You already see a strategy lining up here?
I'm surprised, to be honest, and I'm glad you pointed it out. Just quickly to answer finger guns, yes, Ryan won priority. So I'm surprised Enchantress isn't directly opposite a hammer. He's taken advanced R&D. She has the ability to steal it. Um, I'm surprised by this because Miles is going to get it and he's not going to be able to run away with it. So he could have double moved Enchantress and just stolen it. So I'm
Hmm.
surprised he hasn't done that.
Hmm.
But what he might be thinking is that I could do that, but then I'm going to lose the sword console game. Maybe he wants to pick and dogpile on the center and take the top console and
Hmm.
leave that bottom one and go for the win by getting the 3-0 score and the push. Because that was discussed at length, like I said, on the Danger Room podcast, where it may just be a win harder or win more scenario where if you start capping those consoles, and I know this from facing Pat, that it just is really hard to recover.
Yes. So you think the sword play is what he's after, Jaborf?
Yeah, it looks like it. Guardians token. Okay.
Yeah, funny. All right, so we have
Uh,
Miles moving up. He's doing
yep.
he flanked pretty hard off of the sword console and has decided to use his power to take that as opposed to the hammer.
Yep. Which I think is potentially the right call because if someone comes to grab the hammer, they're stuck there and then you can activate and deal with that. I'm very curious to see how Jaborf does this.
Me too. This is what we're here for. This is probably one of the most tensely awaited matches once we heard it was going to be Double Web Warriors.
Well, it becomes a bit of a meme one where you've got the two Spider-Men pointing at each other, like who's the real one? So Where's he looking?
It was so funny when I saw that come up. I was like, this is perfect.
Yeah, I think the first round will be a bit of cat and mouse. So Ryan going down, leaving the hammer with Miles. All right, Gwen's coming in, so maybe she's going to go for it. He's looking.
Looking about it, thinking.
Yeah,
I've seen Jaborf
which
do
is
this.
fine. And
He. Go ahead.
yeah, no,
No,
you go, Norbert.
I was just going to make a point that we call him the Matador because of the fact that he loves to dance. He has that cloak out. You see him put the sticks out. He does like this sort of stuff, and then a completely different thing happens, and it's just like amazing control of the bull.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think he's a very considered player. He's definitely looking at his options, and it's been said many, many times. All the best players will spend the time to look at their options on the board. They'll measure things out. They'll look at their own options, but also what could their opponent do about it. Um,
Yes.
and then, in my game with Pat, just looking at his options available just hurt my head. It's like, oh, he's already 3 steps ahead, So
Yeah.
which is good.
I think it was the same podcast you're saying that Pat, or no, it was Danger Room. It said Pat's a master at giving you a lot of bad options to choose from.
Correct. And when I heard that, I was just nodding along in the car, like, yep, that's true.
All right, so he's moved his Ghost Spider, Jaborf, up
Hmm.
to presumably that hammer, maybe to contest the thing as well, probably both. Let's see if
Well,
he's
yeah,
gonna
I think
is he gonna flip
the
it or is
smarter
he
option
gonna?
here is to,
No, he's
yeah,
taking the
smarter
hammer.
option is to take the hammer. Yeah, in my opinion, because you can do a 50-50 roll for the console, and if he misses it, it feels real bad. He can take the hammer and then, have that guaranteed VP and then activate first next round and potentially lay the hurt on Miles.
Yeah. Plus, otherwise Toad was gonna get that hammer, and he's a bitch to
Oh, yeah.
have a hammer.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want Toad holding extracts in this game.
No. So is
Uh,
Gwen safe enough there by herself?
I think so. I don't think there's a problem if she's got the hammer, which she does. Her versus Miles, I think she'll be okay because Jaborf does have Miles as his leader as well, so she does have a defensive reroll. She's not the most survivable character, but with one reroll against Miles and a one-on-one, I think she's okay, especially if he's got priority. He can activate her first and just double attack.
Yes, let's not forget, Jaborf, while he's giving up the control aspects of Sword, he is going to be able to get priority for the most turns. And, well, I was going to say, if he's after control, going first isn't so great. He does have Venom to try to beat people up, but that's only one beater.
Um, yeah, I mean, Enchantress can line up a nice beam. Miles is pretty good with a webline kick. Gwen, if she's attacking twice, her spend is really good for a guaranteed displacement. So he's got options, and I think there is always the possibility that he dazes a character before they've activated, and then flips priority.
All right, Ryan, what is he up to? A lot of thinking going on. Seems like looks like Spider-Man might be in action though. Here we go.
Yep. So
We'll
core set Peter Parker in the top 8. I still can't believe I'm saying. Oh,
Has he been using him though?
here he goes.
Has he actually been
He's
using
been
him?
using. Yeah, oh yeah, that is a hill he has well and truly defended and died on. That core set Peter Parker is good in Web Warriors, and he's an affiliated character, so why not? But I think I'm very excited for next season to see him roll out Amazing Spider-Man and Black Cat,
Hmm.
because I know he will.
Right. So Spider-Man going after the hammer or
Yeah.
flipping it? He's gonna want the hammer, right?
Um, I'm not sure what he'll do here. I think he might be better off grabbing the hammer and then looking to dogpile on the bottom 2 consoles.
Yeah,
but he
sure.
may want to just sit up there with the hammer and then deal with the console later because he can activate last and remove someone if he's got enough power.
Interesting. He went hard flank again on this
Mm,
point, just like he did on the
yeah,
other side. But let's see what's happening. A lot of handshaking seems like.
yeah. So spends a power.
And what's the verdict?
I think he's probably deciding. And this is the problem that
Oh, he
yeah.
went
So
to
go
flip
show
it. He
console.
flipped it. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Is that having that decision made earlier before the game even starts to know if I win priority, this is this I'm going to take secures. If I can, I'm going to take sword. If I discard sword, I'm going to take this. And then how am I going to treat that scenario up front? Um, which way am I going to go? What's my priority if I win priority? Am I doing the extract game? Sword is very dangerous and still fairly new because we've only had it legal in the season for a few weeks. Is that right, Norbert?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's at least mid-season, if not only the finals. Yeah,
So
it must have been mid-season because we didn't do any additions when it came to the finals.
yeah.
Okay, so I think this is a stronger play because the scenario is so strong. You get 3 points out of it, zero for your opponent, and get
Hmm.
that push, which is
Hmm.
so flexible. So,
Yeah.
he's going to grab one hammer. So he's at 4 points. The other, so he's at 4 to 3, plus the addition of the push. The sword scenario is very strong.
Yeah, I think in this instance where you've got Enchantress and Venom, you're much better off having the sword control and that free push to keep them away, because a push on Venom can essentially be a stagger, depending.
Hmm. Yep.
Um, he's got lethal protector if he wants. If Ryan decides to attack another character that's within 3 of Venom, but I think he would be smart enough to know not to do that. And Enchantress being in range for bows and things, I think is also as much as I would have loved to have done it. I never got that push for me, so I would have just kept Enchantress as far away as possible.
I am wondering if Jaborf passes at this point.
Uh,
Can he yet? No, he's got 3. He's got to do one more. Oh no.
no,
Uh,
Jaborf can pass,
yeah, he can.
but what's the benefit? Because he has, he could send someone up to the middle, but then he's got Gwen and Okoye coming in.
Right.
Um, it's not a terrible idea to activate, but I think I potentially would have saved Venom. He could have just sent Miles up to grab the hammer opposite Peter
Right.
Parker
Yeah.
and then seen who Ryan puts in the middle first. But yeah, the other option is to try and tap that middle point now and then hold it and then save Miles for last to try and then flip that point with Peter Parker in a 50-50 roll.
But he took the hammer instead. I
Yeah,
liked I liked your point of view. I liked you sit up there, flip the console, and then hold it because Venom can tank pretty well. But instead, he's decided to pick up the hammer.
yeah. So he can still sit on it, and it means that Ryan needs to do a 50-50 roll to get it or try and displace Venom and then get it, but he can't with the power, as we discussed.
Yeah.
So this is still okay in terms of that Ryan may not get the 50-50 roll on the middle. Enchantress can then potentially do it afterwards, and Miles may still go for the 50-50 roll up the top. So he's still got some option.
All right. Just checking a range.
Hmm.
Gwen.
Now that's interesting because he'd need to pass a power around, and then looking at Gwen's web line, where is she? Go Spider.
I got it up on the screen.
Yeah, it needs to be in line of sight.
Hmm.
So Venom's hiding behind a size 5 building. Gwen's not going to be able to web line unless she's on top of it.
Okay.
Mm.
Um.
And I know the comment in the chat, Jabor could have passed because he had 2 activations, whereas Ryan still has 3. So Jaborf had less activations than Ryan had available. But I do like that option. It gives him a potential.
Yeah.
Oh, did he have 3? All right,
Yeah,
my
he did.
mistake.
Yeah. I made the same mistake, and then I saw that that he had a third guy, and so then it was off the table. But anyhow,
Okay, cool. So he couldn't have passed.
no. So Ryan's got 3 characters left. Jaborf's got 2. Ryan, interesting. Checking out where Miles can go.
Which is smart, as we discussed, looking at all options available. He quite makes that.
Yeah, he'll be a little tight to get past the big base of Venom to reach that console.
Yeah. So what do you think Ryan does here? What's his optimal?
Well, the question is, I feel like Sword is where he's after. He's got 2 of those consoles.
Mm-hmm.
And who has he got here? He's got Ghost Spider and Okoye. I mean, I don't think these 2 are going to take anybody out in the middle, so I don't know if he's going to go for attrition. Uh, at the same time, Toad's not really helpful down here terribly much because he doesn't have an extract to take away. I don't know. I'm not a big control player, is the problem, and so it's very hard for me to think through what they might do with their shenanigans.
Yeah. I guess it depends on, what's the priority for him. He could try and put Gwen in the middle and flip it. He could send Toad up to try and flip it. He could just park Okoye in the middle again and just allow her to sort of hold the point and maybe take some damage or be displaced, try and generate some power. But
Yeah,
it's a tough call
I
because,
think I think
personally,
Toad. Yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
go on.
No, I think I like the Toad play because otherwise Toad's not doing terribly, but this would be a nice contribution to the game state.
Yeah, I think Toad is a bit more flexible in where he is at the moment, where I would save him for maybe one more activation and look at, do I need to bring him to the middle and try and flip the point? Do I bring him up to support um, Miles? But he's gone Gwen and he's going to go and grab that other hammer
Yeah,
on the top next to Peter Parker. And that's interesting. Now, he's quite spread. I don't know if that's going to come back to hurt him. I'm curious if anyone in the chat has any thoughts on that, where he's got 2 characters up the top. He's got Gwen down the bottom,
yeah,
and Toad potentially down the bottom. This might actually be really smart to just keep Venom out of it.
neutralized. Yeah,
Those 2 flank consoles. Because the
yeah.
way I've looked at Sword in the past is you pick a flank and then you move towards the center.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can try and hold a line and kind of push towards the third console. But I actually really like Farmer's play here, where he split left and right and said, cool, Venom, you can sit in the middle and have that.
I totally agree. For slow movers with not very long range attacks, this is a perfect way of neutralizing them.
Yeah, especially that he's got a hammer. Venom with a hammer is just gross.
Yeah. Turns out both Gwens have hammers, so they're both going to be serious players this match.
I like it. Well,
All
that's
right.
good. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So 2
So,
more activations each.
yeah. Okay. Jaborf commanding us straight away. So does he just try to flip the consoles now?
I mean, what other choice does he have, really?
Yeah. This is where the RNG comes into play. It could hurt Ryan or Jaborf, and there's literally no way to know because it's a coin flip.
Yeah, so he's got 2 characters on there. So advanced R&Ding a power across to try and web swing and kick and generate some more power is risky. The safe play is to move up, spend 1, try and flip it with a 50-50 roll, which I think is what he's doing.
Yep, here we go.
Yep.
Here's the roll.
Dice roll cleared.
Let's see if he's lucky. No,
No,
not
blank.
lucky. There we are. Let's got one more chance at it.
Well, he hasn't got a single console yet.
Oh, that's right. He hasn't flipped the middle one. Okay, fair.
Yeah, because he used that single power on Venom to pick up the hammer.
Yeah. which I don't quite understand. I think that's investing too much into Venom.
Yeah, and I think he was measuring there because Venom needs to be what in range 3 for lethal protector.
Hmm.
Miles might be out of that, so let's have a look at the tactics cards.
It is range 3 indeed.
Yeah, and Venom may spend 2, which with a hammer will cost him 3. So Venom would need to have 3 power and be within range 3 of an allied character to be able to use lethal protector. Um, so yeah, Ryan's positioning really good here to shut that down. What's he doing with Toad?
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to
Ooh,
flip that center console.
yeah, that's right. He can sit up on that size 5 piece of terrain, but he's in danger. I
Sure.
potentially would have just sent him down the bottom.
Yeah, but I mean, Toad's, he's got to survive the first hit, and after that, he can just hop away, or whatever it's called.
Yeah, slippery. That's
Slippery.
if he survives the first hit.
Yeah.
And then I guess yeah, with that size 5 piece of terrain, because Venom has that web line that doesn't need line of sight, so you
Mm.
can try and get away, but range 4 without line of sight is pretty big.
So it looks like
Medium.
they're having a little trouble getting Toad situated on that carpet barn, but
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be resolved in
So
a few minutes.
yeah. And then what does he do with the Koye?
Pick up the hammer.
Yeah, yeah. But then did he fit her behind the barn on top?
Well,
Because
she
does he
could be
move
the
away
one
to a
protecting.
flank?
Whoa! Oh, blow.
Oh dear.
That sucks. Although it might be easy to replace because it's got a little. Oop.
Yeah, just rewind time, I think.
Yeah, let me turn everything back on. Okay, we are back.
Excellent.
Let me.
Sort of just flip the view.
There we are. It's a shame about the. I'm gonna try to toggle telecasting again to see if I can get that to refresh. No. Hmm.
Yeah, I haven't seen this bug before, but it's curious to see that it's come up in the chat. So interesting.
All right, I am going to log out of the game and come back in, I
Okay,
think.
fair enough.
That doesn't make sense. Makes more sense, doesn't it?
Yeah. So while you're doing that, so we've got Miles left. Miles is done. Sorry, Enchantress left on Jaborf's side. She's got 2 power. Um, is he able to advance R&D a power across? I don't think so. So could she just double move up and try and 50-50 flip the console? Does she Sirens call summons away? What are we thinking?
Sorry, I got distracted. We were talking about Okoye.
Initially, we're talking about Okoye, and I've just said that Jaborf has his last character as Enchantress.
Oh, right.
She's
Okay.
got 2 power. He can't advance R&D a power across to her to displace someone and then flip the console. Does he just double move and go for the 50-50 flip?
Yeah, I think so because I was just going to say that um, I try, moving people these sort of things doesn't matter, you know,
Mm,
except for later. Yeah.
yeah,
All right, we got most of the characters back up, which is
yeah,
better, which is good. He's moving Enchantress now.
yeah. Well, this is a guaranteed flip then, because Toad's not on the point.
Right.
So I think that's the better option at the moment. But then Okoye comes in and does what she does. Okoye with a hammer, also terrifying.
I was just going to say, she would have been another thing. Pick up the hammer, move up in bodyguard range of Toad, and also just threaten to attack. As you said, not only does she tank now, but with that hammer, she's actually got really good output.
Yeah, and it'd be curious to see if she could be within 2 of Venom to do that bodyguard. So she's within 2, counting blank and bodyguard range of Toad. I think he's got the movement there to do that, but he needs power.
All right.
Placing Enchantress on the top side. I think he's signaling that he's going to start going after Peter Parker and Gwen up the top next.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Leave Gwen down with Miles at the bottom, which is kind of a standoff. And this is exactly what Jaborf, I think, wants to do, is to try to force a focus of the board in one area, whereas Ryan is actually trying to do the opposite.
Which is great control.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, yep, he's gone for the guaranteed flip on the console in the center, which is good. So it gives him one at least. Not that it's going to give him any points, but he has a console, and then, he could leave Venom there and just deny Ryan. But I think it's a big problem with the 4 wide versus 5 wide, and Venom being a small mover. Unless he can adjust slightly to be within range 3 of someone, get enough power to then potentially lethal protector. But yeah, the 5 wide versus 4 is going to be a uphill battle.
Very much so. Because they can now still go in there and take that console over.
She could, but like you said, she's going to pick up the hammer, and I think, sit back and just wait.
I agree.
Yeah, but again, she could also do some nasty things to Venom, with her energy attack with an extra dice.
Oh, that's
and
right.
Reroll.
He's weak to energy, exactly.
Yeah, but the 7 health pool, I don't think she gets him in one attack and he retaliates. It'd be a risky play, and I don't think Ryan will do it. I think he'll be smarter than that and just sit back and leave Venom alone and push him away.
Cool. All right. And Okoye, let's see, she's gonna hide behind that truck. Yeah.
Interesting.
So she's doing the Toad thing, where she's just gonna grab it and run.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense as well, because that's an extra VP that he's just denying Jaborf.
Right.
And next turn, she can just climb up over that size 4 truck and go and support Miles, who's his leader, which, between the two of them, they can take out Gwen and get that extra hammer quite easily. Now, end of the round, where do you think he pushes and who?
Well, he's maybe, pushing Gwen makes no sense because she's got such long range attacks. He can't really push Venom backwards, which is where I would want to do it. I would want to push him back, because of it's a push, right, not a play. So that hot dog stand is going to be in the way.
Exactly.
So I still probably would want to push Venom somewhere to make him less useful. And if Ryan is going to try to keep the flanks, oof, this is a tough one. Oh, he's thinking about Gwen though.
Yeah, I'd be looking at Miles personally, because you're right. Gwen can move back quite easily, but yeah, she's not in attack range. She does have a hammer, so that's probably what he's thinking. She's the biggest threat at the moment. Venom, you can't really push him anywhere that's going to benefit you if you're Ryan. Gwen at least may have to move back. She could do a range for impact webbing with 5 dice, but what does that net her? A power, yeah. Keeping her out of range 2 to stop her doing her double builder into Miles, I think was the right call.
All right.
Because she'd be rolling 5 and then 8 dice if she double attacked Miles.
We have a commanding lead by Ryan, 5-2, going into round 2 of the match.
And we'll see if he can maintain that, because all it takes is one flip of the sword scoring, and then it's it could be a problem.
Yeah, it goes remarkably fast.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Jaborf has priority.
Yep. Just going to say that. And so this is going to be crucial for him. This is where his momentum is going to start building if he's going to make it happen. So
I'm guessing he's looking at Venom short moving and then attacking if he's measuring range 3.
Yep. Sadly, I can't call up the cards anymore, so I wanted to take a look at how much, what's Venom's attack now within a hammer.
So it should be a 5 dice base builder. So he'd be rolling 6 dice, gains power equal to damage dealt, and has a bleed just mandatory on the symbiote tendrils, which is his builder attack.
And you can't reroll against him, so that's helpful.
Yeah, exactly. So the spider defense, if it's Peter Parker, and the Miles Web Warrior leadership is of no use to him when Venom is attacking.
So, if he moves Venom up there to deal with it, he could leave Enchantress to control the center. That's not a bad. That's very doable.
Yeah. She's got 3 powers, so she could do a Siren's Call and interact, or potentially heal, but there's no one really sort of good for her because she could double move up and just steal the hammer off Gwen.
Right.
But then that kind of just leaves her sitting there in the open to then get countered. So it's a tough call for him. How do you activate here?
And as we said, he's got to build momentum now. He's really got to make things happen with his priority because that's his one advantage in this match. Just
Yeah,
thinking
and
about
there you
Gwen.
go.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. Maybe consider a 5 dice impact webbing into Miles, try and push him, generate a power, move on to the point, spend a power to flip the console, and hope you don't get thrown off. Other options, not great.
Does Jaborf have enough power to pay for bitter rivals? Because that wouldn't be bad to put up on the top of the board.
I think because they're so spread out, this is going to be a very low impact card, because if he places bitter rivals on Peter, it's only going to affect Gwen.
Ooh,
So
we got some dice rolling going on. I guess that must be Gwen against Miles.
Yeah, I think he would have done. Let's see how many dice he rolls.
He rolls 4.
He rolled 4. Well, if he's got a hammer, it should have been 5.
Hopefully he didn't forget.
Ryan rolled 3. So totally added the 2 crits, 2 skulls. Should we mention something to the line judge, perhaps?
Yeah. Well, I think she's listening. I'm not sure what her name is on the thing. But yeah, there should have been an extra die, I think, if it was Gwen actually attacking. Let's see.
Yeah. I've just messaged Abby.
Okay, good.
See if she sees it. Yeah.
You messaged her. She's good.
Yeah, I sent her a message. I don't know if she acted. So Gwen needed there's a wild on the interact. I don't think she's seen the message. Sorry, not the interact, on the attack. Apologies, it's still early for me and I'm still waking up. But yeah, the impact webbing, range for 4 dice. After the attack is resolved, gain 1, a wild push. So he would have been looking for the wild. It should have been 5 dice because Gwen's got a hammer.
All right.
Miles is attacking. There you go.
Oh, okay. It was Miles. All right. Makes more sense.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you, AJ. Okay.
That's better. 4 hits, 4 blanks though.
Ooh.
Gosh. 5 hits rather.
5 successes, yeah, with a wild, which Miles has, the throw on the wild as well.
Nice.
Who is he attacking? Oh.
Ooh.
And he should say Gwen.
Right. So there goes the hammer back into play.
Yeah. And now he should generate a bunch of power, I think.
Should hope so. Blood damage. Gwen has 5 hit points. Yeah. So what happened is I don't think Ryan clears his things right away. I think he must not have saved anything, or at least took one from the previous. I got confused. Anyhow, 5 hits went through, and she is dead. The hammer went to Miles, of course.
Wow, that's big.
Big.
So I'm just trying to figure out where his power is at then.
Me too. Did he pay for that second attack? I'm just going to try to look up Miles'
Yeah, it's interesting. Miles, where are you? So Miles Morales has just loading for me as well.
Yeah, you tell me. I'll
Yeah,
watch the
Venom
game.
Blast. So maybe he did use a Venom Blast. Did he not then interact with the console either? No, he would have had to because he had no power. I'd be curious in what the TTS chat log has in terms of spent, etc.
Yeah, his question is, he didn't web swing because he just walked. He walked. Oh, you could still do the web swing, but not actually move, right? And to get an extra
Right.
dice. Yeah.
So the advanced R&D is gone. Maybe. Yeah. So the chat saying he did Venom Blast and he's advanced R&D a power across from Enchantress, and he's used that power to pick up the hammer.
Okay. Well worth it though. He's not no power now, but well worth it considering what just happened.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Because this is a path to switching priority and activating last is removing activations from Ryan.
Yes. Good point. All right. Well, we talked about momentum. Seems like he's in pretty good.
Yes.
All right. How does Ryan respond then?
Yeah, yeah, and this is something that was talked about as well. That in the last game, Ryan had some key moments where Art had him on the ropes, and it would have been totally understandable for anyone to be fully on tilt and lose their cool and throw the game. But Ryan can compose himself quite well because that's a huge opening swing.
So Ron, does he tend to tilt, or does he have it under control most of
No,
the time? No.
no, I think he's. I haven't played or spent too much time engaging with him on it, but from what I've seen, he definitely can compose himself, and it has to be expected as well when you're going up against someone on this scenario where they're four wide and they're going to have priority. But he has an option to respond here with Peter Parker if he tries to go after Miles. I'm just trying to think what I would do in this situation because you
Keep in
don't want
mind,
it to. Yes.
he still has control of the sword bases, which I think is
Mm.
his ultimate game plan. Um, so the question is does he want to stay there and try to hold on to it as opposed to going
I
after
think so.
characters?
Because as it stands now, if Jaborf holds three hammers but loses sword, he's scoring 3 points. Ryan with one hammer and sword scores 4. So he could progress the rest of the game 4-3
Right.
and be happy with that.
Yep.
Even now with a 3-point advantage, yeah, it's tough. He's got a bit of clawing back to do. All right, so he's pinged Peter Parker, I think.
Yep. Looks like he's going Miles.
Makes sense. He's there in range. May as well.
He's got 3 hits so far, including a wild.
Mm-hmm. And
And
Jaborf's roll. No successes, but he's got spider sense and his leadership to reroll.
yeah, no skulls. He can pick all those up.
Well, he could do it anyway. He's holding and contesting an extract.
Oh yes, right. Miles is part of his affiliation ability, of course.
Yeah. So I know it wasn't relevant in this game. So he's got 2 successes
Saves.
now.
Yeah.
But another interesting thought for people is that Black Panther under Miles' leadership, when he spends for Mantle of Black Panther, if he's contesting a objective or holding one, he can reroll skulls on offense as well. Which is very nice.
More help for Wakandan.
Yeah. So I've done that in some out of season testing in the past. Played Black Panther in Web Warriors under
Ryan,
Miles.
sorry to interrupt.
Ooh.
Really bad roll. 4 blank hit. Jaborfs have saved it so far.
Mm-hmm.
And that, yeah, beg your pardon.
That's all right. Yeah. Do you think he throws Miles away at this point? Does he have power or is it a 3 power throw? No, I think it's a 3 power throw.
Yeah, he's got no power now.
Yep.
Yeah, he's done. She's taken him off.
Yeah. Yeah. So 3 power for Peter Parker's throw, which might have been what he was looking for to throw Miles away off the point. But if Miles didn't flip the console, then Ryan's happy.
Right. That's what I was going to say next. Okay, that was not so great at the top of Ryan. On the other hand, he still has that console, and that's what this game is going to be about, is flipping those consoles and owning them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what does Jaborf do now? What do you
Well, I
think?
was gonna say, if Enchantress had more power, go up there, move both of those people off, and then flip it. But she's only got two. She needs to flip it. So go up there and maybe do just go for the RNG on it, which is kind of a feels bad opportunity. You could send Venom to go up there and do that and just have him up there, but then like you're leaving one of your big beaters. Uh, maybe. I mean, mm, I'd probably move Venom up there.
Yeah, that makes sense because Gwen's dazed, Peter Parker's activated, so you could have him in there in position for next turn.
Exactly.
But yeah, he'd be rolling the die.
Exactly. But
Gwen looking at her.
yeah, I was gonna say it's just a 50-50, so it doesn't matter that both of them are up there. So, if you're gonna do it, it's fine to do it now. And like you said, then he's in a position to beat them up next turn.
Yeah. The problem with moving now before Toad goes is that he then abandons the point. Toad can just,
Sure. Oh,
try and
yeah,
flip
definitely.
that,
Yeah.
try and get last. I think the Toad position is very smart because Jaborf has to decide if it's worth staying and dealing with Toad or abandoning the point and worrying about Toad, then, taking it once they're gone.
Right. Gwen
Interesting.
moving up to contest the console.
Hmm.
She is sitting on only one power, but has a hammer. So
Yep.
she's got one attack possibly coming in, and also the opportunity to try to flip that thing. So can she knock him off that point? It's not one of her abilities, is it?
No, not with her builder attack. But she can then move afterwards. Because she's moved, she can move, interact, attack, and they get a free long move off that builder.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if she does that. I think just staying there is probably the right call for the moment.
Some dice being rolled, probably attack.
Yep.
Ooh, two crits. Ryan's got two blanks and a skull. Not so great again.
So he rolled 5 dice, Jaborf again, but Gwen's got a hammer. So I'm wondering if he's doing the impact webbing, looking for the wild, or
Mm-hmm.
if it was the builder. I'm not sure.
Jaborf did not so lucky this time. Just rolled nothing but blanks with those crits.
Yeah, and I'm guessing Ryan's dodged it,
Yeah,
unless he's re-rolling everything.
I don't think so.
Mm.
I don't know because I'm not hearing any noise. It's a little tough. Ryan's one of those players, he's not alone, that tends to clear their dice rolls as soon as they're finished with them,
Yeah,
which I find a little disconcerting as
yeah.
an opponent.
Well, you do have that Jarvis chat. You can always
Yeah,
check.
but still,
This
why
is
not
a
just leave
great
them in?
feature.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm the same. I leave them personally, but some people are creatures of habit and like to have things a certain way. So I understand, but I'm guessing now Jaborf is deciding: does he stay and attack again, or does he take the long move? Oh no, sorry, he's moved his attack.
yeah.
He might be thinking about a web line then. He's got no power, so what's he thinking?
Tricky.
Yeah, I think the only thing he could be thinking is that free long move that I mentioned before,
Sure.
but he's not measuring it. So yeah, I'm just wondering what's going through Jaborf's mind at the moment.
Did he spend the power to try to flip that console?
Maybe, but I haven't seen him roll a single die.
Yeah, me
So
neither. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm just wondering what happened to that power.
yeah, I'm not sure. Do you have the ability to bring up the chat from TTS at all? No.
Doesn't
So he
look
has
like.
gone for that long move,
Yeah, yeah. So
but
he's
he has
gonna
no power.
abandon the bottom plank.
Yeah.
I think it makes sense. Um, when you have four like this, you need to try to, like I said, make a center of
Mm,
gravity somewhere on the board.
yeah. Interesting.
Oh, so he's given himself the power back. I guess maybe he changed his mind.
Yeah, okay.
So maybe he's playing it now.
Could do.
No.
Let's see. Well, he owns the middle one anyway, doesn't he?
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna just double check that this thing about the yes, he does.
Yeah.
When you
Ryan
overhead,
using,
it's hard to see.
is Ryan using X-Men tokens for the console?
Yeah. I guess they had to
'Cause he
choose a
can't-
different one because they're both playing Warriors.
Yeah. Okay, so he's ticked Gwen. Now it's on to Farmer.
Yep. So he owns the bottom console. Is Koye's got the
Hmm.
hammer. She's very safe there.
Hmm.
Hmm.
He owns the top. I think he's activated up there. I think he just gets towed to try and flip the console and run away.
Sure.
Literally, he's got no downside to spending one to try and flip it, and then just double moving down to safety, next to Miles, because if he stays there, he's probably going to get snapped on by Venom.
Sure. Could either move by miles or else hide behind the truck with the Koye.
Yeah. Or he could move and take it off Okoye. Oh, he doesn't have enough power. Because Toad, it is an action. Find as keepers. Choose an allied character within 2 of this character. Move an asset or civilian token. A hammer is an asset. The chosen character is holding to this character. This character is now holding that token and may not hold more than the crisis specifies. So
Sure.
he could move Toad down to within 2 of Okoye if he had 2 power and take it from her. Now he's got the ability to advance R&D off someone else, but as I said, he could also double move down.
Well, it looks like he's going to attack Gwen, as it turns out, and not do anything that
Okay.
we talked about. Yeah, we talked about how power is going to be so starved this game, and it certainly is the case here. Enchantress is not doing all her crazy Enchantress things. Toad's not doing the fancy moves. He's just attacking.
Well, he's got the wild, which is the push that he wants on the tongue lash. So he may be pushing Gwen away if that's who he attacks.
Yeah, I think it was Gwen. I saw the ruler go over her. So, yep, there it is.
Yep. So he's got the push.
Jaborf been very lucky with his rolls. He's saved all the damage yet again.
Did he? He's got. Oh, yep. The crit, 3 successes. There you go. Well done.
Yeah.
But I think maybe Ryan was just looking at that push just to make Gwen have to decide next turn to waste an action to move. So what does he do for his second action?
Right. So we don't know yet. What does he do? He
So
could try to flip that thing now. Does he have power? Let's see. Yes.
yeah,
Try to flip it anyway.
yeah. And just
And
to the question in the chat for Rambo Squirrel, if we weren't looking top down, you'd be able to see, and you can see it on Toad, there's a little red rim around the base. Ryan is the red player, but yeah, in the normal sort of third person view, you'd be able to see the color around the base is the usual way you would tell.
yeah,
But for the moment, sadly not.
not in telecasting view. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, exactly.
So for anybody who's watching, Jaborf owns the three characters in the center and on the lefts of this building, and just Toad that belongs to Ryan.
Why is he measuring range 1?
Oh my goodness, is it this thing like the other game?
Oh
Oh,
no.
maybe he wants to contest. He wants to contest to make them pay for the flip.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, the flip is irrelevant if Toad is dazed, but I guess he's not holding a token, so he spent one. He's going to do a roll, I assume.
Yeah, here we go.
50-50.
And success.
He gets it.
Gets it.
Interesting. Now, what are your thoughts on that? Because he could have done that from his position and then moved away. Does he need to be sitting on the point and put himself, and he could be sacrificing Toad here to say,
Yeah.
Venom Enchantress, deal with me or go somewhere else.
Yeah, I think I think he's broadcasting that it's all about sword for him. He's doing everything he can to make sword difficult for Jabor. So he's throwing Toad up there so that Jaborf has to pay for the flip, so that's 50-50 chance. And then maybe relying on Slippery to get away if he gets,
Mm.
one hit. But yeah, he may actually just be sacrificing him just to stop the scenario from flipping, which is not a bad thing, as we said. It'll keep his lead comfortable.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, so he's got some tough decisions now. And again, can't pass. 2-2 activations.
Yep, because of that early
What's he gonna do?
days.
Yeah.
Well, Venom. I was going to say he's certainly going to attack Toad, but he's probably want to go after the top. That's where I would be sending him. And now that he's got Toad activated, he doesn't have to worry about Toad coming up there. Not that he might have been able to reach that far.
A double move with the range to interact would have been comfortable.
Yeah, oh,
If
that's
he
right,
needed
too.
to do it.
Sure. Yeah, he could have done it. So that's what I might have been the worry. Now that that's off the table, get Venom up there and start beating people up. Oh, he's desperate to get after Okoye.
Yeah, I don't know if that works because she's wedged herself behind that truck. He doesn't need line of sight to use the ability, but it's a push.
Because, I mean, right now, what Enchantress could do is beam Toad, gain a power, bow him away, and then flip the token for free.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And these
Okoye
are
could,
things she could definitely do.
yeah, Okoye could ruin that plan by coming up there.
Yeah, I don't think he will bring a Koi up there if Venom's sitting there with a hammer. Again, I think he's been very smart on keeping the scenario split, taking the extract and hiding, and allowing Venom to just sit in the middle and largely be irrelevant or have to waste a turn trying to become relevant.
Advanced R&D got played, and I'm guessing that is Venom attacking Toad.
So advanced R&D by Jaborf was played during Miles' turn.
Oh, okay, thank you. I didn't notice that it turned red
Yeah.
at that point.
Yeah, it happened at the end there because I think he needed to do that after spending for Venom Blast to be able to pick up the hammer.
Yeah. Okay, so Venom is indeed going after Toad. Toad's taken 3 hit points of damage and gotten the bleed.
Ooh. Yeah, and he'll have to slippery away here or get dazed.
Surely he just does that, right?
Yep, there it
Sure.
is.
Yeah.
And it's okay because Venom's got power, but he's also not moved into a location of relevance.
Yeah.
So now Toad can just move himself down the board if he wishes with slippery and then hide. I think he should do that, but let's see what he does do.
Yeah, I was gonna say he could hide behind the building. If he just goes down there, I don't know if he's still within range of Venom.
Oh, if he medium moves away, he should be out of range 3 of Venom.
Yeah.
And then, next turn he can just move and sit down on the bottom console and then,
But what's
see what
Venom's
happens.
pull ability? How long is that? Is that
Range
3?
4.
Range 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bit of discussion
But
going
then he has
on.
the same power to do it.
Yeah. Okay. Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if the medium move. Yeah, so
Yeah. She's gonna
going
hide.
behind the building, he's in range 4, but it stops him being pulled in because it's a push with that
Yep.
Venom web line.
Perfect.
Yeah, and then he's out of line of sight of everyone because it's size 5 building. So see what he does. I definitely think Slippery is the right call here.
Yeah.
Even he's bleeding and got 2 health points left. Because once he flips, having 3 health points, he's an easy KO for Venom.
Oh yeah, he was gonna be a goner. I don't know if it mattered too much, but it's always good to get characters off the table. There's a lot of discussion going
No,
on here. Not sure what's going on here with the second activation or second action.
yeah, I'm not sure. But just looking at, even if he does sacrifice Toad, at the end of the round, assuming it goes 4-3, let's say, because Ryan maintains one hammer and the sword base, it'll then put him up to 9-5, and then a push. So you're just kind of edging ahead, and at that point, is it far enough ahead that Jaborf can't really catch him?
Just double checked in Venom's card, and I don't know why you'd be looking at a push-pull measurement here, which is what this measurement stick is doing.
No idea. He hasn't spent any power either.
Nope. Is it a card?
Web
All
snare?
webbed up? No.
No. The chat said web snare, but I don't know why he would do that. And he needs to spend power to do that.
Yeah, like why would you? And it's just pushed or towards. Yeah, sure. But like,
Yeah.
why now? Oh, I guess so he
Yeah.
doesn't go over the board. But I was gonna say who gets to do their superpowers first?
Well, I think Toad would have Slippery first as a reactive,
Yeah, that's what I would have thought.
but maybe he opted not to do it because Ryan
Okay,
hasn't spent any power.
okay,
So
that's what it is. That's exactly
yeah,
what's
so
going
he
on.
is doing it. He spent 2 power. He is doing a web snare.
Yep.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Very interesting. And then does he attack him again?
Gonna flip the thing.
Ah,
We're
good
gonna.
morning, Mr. Reed. I didn't opt for the sports code and tie because it's not the final. But good to see you're up watching as well.
Well, I should mention that your branch of the service apparently is up earlier than his branch.
Oh no, we were the same branch. There's other people that we game with. Morgan's sparring partner
Okay.
was in the Navy, and I stirred him up a bit this week, Phil, because our other friend Adam Murgatroyd, who puts out the articles for Strike Better,
Yeah.
is also the same service as us, but is working in the amphibious space at the moment.
Oh,
So we
nice.
were riling up Phil about the Navy. So
The
no,
sail.
Morgan and I have the same sort of
Ooh,
background somewhat.
look at Yahtzee. Jaborf got Yahtzee.
Wow, one of each. So 3 successes so far. Is that Ryan's current role? Yep.
Yeah.
And he's dazed.
Days. Yep. Makes sense.
Yeah.
The sailors don't get up early like infantry, right?
Uh yeah, I think they just do shift work.
Yeah.
So I don't know. The Navy's a whole new world of unknowns to me, and I just like to make fun of them because they react. Whereas when you make fun of the Air Force, they just kind of laugh into their hotel pillows. Um,
Brilliant. Okay, so predictably Toad is out. Ryan let that happen, though. We should remark. Ryan let that happen. He could have slippery behind that building and have been completely safe. But no,
yeah,
he
but
elected
then
not to.
yeah, Venom's used both his actions to sit there and attack. And as we talked about, splitting the scenario is good for Ryan, keeping Venom on that center point. Um, I wonder if Venom has spent the power to then flip that console back. I think he has because
He
he should
has.
have dealt 2 damage, which would have put him back up to 4 power. And then he spent one to get that center console back. So
Right.
Ryan still holding the outer consoles is very strong with only Enchantress left to activate on Jaborf. But he's got Miles and Okoye. So
Yeah. I mean, all I can see here is Enchantress going up to the top and rolling a coin flip again. But again, that feels bad.
it does, but it's because if he does that and he gets it,
Oh yeah,
then
life.
Ryan can't do anything about it really.
Yeah, life would be grand if that roll happens.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure why he's measuring this, which would be the web snare potentially, or is Ryan's measuring it to move? Because he could send a Koya to double move and try and flip that middle one,
You could, yeah.
but I think that's highly risky.
He might not get there because of the awkward placement of the terrain.
Yeah, I think if anything, he's better off potentially sending Okoye to the bottom console and then using Miles to try and go up because he does have advanced R&D. He could swing add power across from Peter onto Miles to do the web swing, and then do an attack and try and generate some power onto maybe Enchantress because I don't think attacking Venom is a good idea.
Right, here we are. So Ryan is still trying to think if Okoye can get there. So, but he is definitely, again, trying to do this sword play.
Yeah, which is the correct play, but I don't think putting Okoye with the hammer in the middle next to both Enchantress and Venom is a good idea, especially if Enchantress can generate a power just by beaming and then spend 3 to steal the hammer off him. Because, 2 actions. If Okoye moves up the middle and I've got Enchantress, I'm going to beam once, generate the 3rd power I need, and then either move to within 1 or, beam again and see if I can, daze. There's options there that you don't want to be anywhere that close to Enchantress. I think this is the better option.
Yeah.
Move her onto the bottom console, keep her safe, and then use Miles if you need to get up to the middle.
Totally. Because she's got the hammer, she's investing, and she can tank. So she's, this is brilliant. Yeah, hats off to Ryan on this move.
Yeah.
Why mess about in the center? It's all about the flanks for him.
Absolutely. So double move. He's got that point already, so she can just tick and say, thanks for coming. Yep.
Yeah. So Jaborf has to go, which is, just checking, I guess.
Yeah.
Does he move Enchantress up? I think he's got to do it to the top.
Yeah, otherwise he just concedes the sword console.
Again, and that's disastrous. It'd be another 4 points.
Yeah, like I said, it would put Ryan. So if Ryan maintains the 1 hammer on Okoye and the consoles, he will go to 9 points, and Jaborf will have 3 from the hammers and go to 5. So it'll be an increase of 1 on the gap, where there's a 4 victory point gap between them. It's a tough call for Jaborf. I think potentially going up top might be a good idea to try and flip that console and then have Miles and Enchantress trying to deal with Peter and Gwen. Gwen's going to be on her injured side, so could be a potential target to remove.
One of the most crucial dice rolls I think are going to come up right now because that brings Jaborf to 9-6. Big swing. Surely he's going to do it. But Miles could flip the middle one as well, which this RNG is really
another 50-50 flip.
Brutal.
Yeah.
All right, Jaborf's changing his mind.
Ooh.
He could ask Okoye to move towards Venom with Bow.
Yeah, he could. I don't know.
Because Jaborf will be having priority again next turn.
Yeah, I think personally in this situation, I'd be moving her up the top and trying to flip that top console, and then you've got Miles and Enchantress there for the start of next turn. You activate with priority, and if you've got Peter Parker and Gwen sitting next to each other, the beam on both of them is an option, and you may get lucky and remove Gwen entirely.
Very risky, though. I mean, you're trusting into the dice rolls. And I would agree with that plan wholeheartedly if it wasn't for Miles being able to activate afterwards and possibly flipping the center console.
Yeah, but it's still a 50-50 flip for him because Venom's still contesting, unless he, advanced R&D's a power across to Miles for Ryan. Ryan then, web swing up or moves, web swing, kick Venom, tries to get the wild to throw him off the point and then flips it guaranteed. Yeah. Again, risky because you're relying on dice to give you that wild you need, or a 50-50 flip either way.
I've regained the ability to look at cards in the game, which is really going to be handy. Check out the rules. Okay.
So the other option that would have been nice, and I don't think it's kind of it's good for him at the moment for Jaborf is that if he does move Enchantress up the top, flip it, start a next turn, he doesn't have enough power, I think, to do all webbed up off Miles because he needs 3 power now
Oh,
to do it.
look at this. He's trying to see if he can. That is even riskier, Jaborf. You're crazy, man.
But he's got to
Unbelievable.
look at his options, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we talked about before. All the good players look at all their options, they measure it out, they are fully informed of the board state and what options they have. And top 8, it's worth taking the time sometimes. Um, yeah, I just think that the best option for him at the moment is to go for the
Ooh,
top side.
I think it's in. I think it's in. But you make a good point. Now he's kind of leaving one character of his to two of Ryan's if he goes to the bottom.
Mm, yeah, and then you don't want to put Enchantress next to Okoye with a hammer, especially if she's got 2 power next turn because she'll spend it, she'll attack, and then she will just remove Enchantress because it's
Yeah,
Okoye.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I still say go to the top.
Yeah, but let him consider his options and see where he goes. I honestly think that's the best option. But at the very start of the game, we talked about lack of power being a problem, and
Yeah.
hammers is making that so much worse. Because having Miles at the top would have been great with priority. Start the next turn to pop all webbed up, slow both Peter Parker and Gwen, and Miles being able to attack them with a hammer with an extra 2 dice. He would just wreak havoc on Ryan to potentially just straight remove Gwen and maybe even throw Peter Parker off the point. He's looking,
Still thinking about it. Probably
yeah.
I wonder if Ryan's doing like the whamma jamma on him, getting him all confused.
Maybe. Left or right, pick a direction. Either one, Ryan's done really well to split the board state like he has. So, yeah, we said it about Pat, give you nothing but bad decisions.
That's what's going
So
on here. You're
I,
absolutely right.
I think, yeah, I think Ryan's done the right thing here to split it and give him bad options.
Huh.
Attacking Toad with Venom was a trap.
Yeah, that I didn't quite understand that one, but all right, just looking ahead.
Yeah, just to see can Miles get after Venom. Not at present, but if he gets an additional power, which Ryan's got advanced R&D, he could do that. He could web swing in and kick Venom.
All right. Are we committing? Yes, we
There we
are
go.
committing.
Double move. Yeah, and like I said, start of next turn, he could activate Enchantress first and just double beam them both.
That's a good point. Yeah, and then that power problem starts to lessen.
Yeah, because she'll sap, she gets a power for each one. So if she double attacked the beam, she generated at least 4 power,
Here we go, big roll.
if not more.
Oh, no good.
Like,
No
yeah,
good.
that's gonna sting.
Oof. Ryan is sitting in the catbird seat, I'm afraid, for Jaborf.
Yeah, yeah. And now he's just got Miles left to activate, which honestly, I think he just leaves him there.
Yeah, why go to the middle?
Yeah, if I was Ryan, I'd just be like, yeah, cool, I'm quite happy here. Done. I've got the 2 consoles. I've got 1 hammer. So 4 to 3, as we discussed, will be the points. Don't get greedy, Ryan.
He's thinking ahead
It's a
to what
medium base.
Venom is going to be able to do.
Yeah, look, I think Venom, if he moves off the point and tries to web snare Miles, he can, but then he's, abandoning the middle point and it's not really going to swing the BP. So I think Ryan, also noting he's got the motorbike and Okoye there, the push off the web snare probably won't move him.
Correct. He's only really got access to Okoye.
Yeah, I think, and the Okoye should be the target.
Yeah, she's got the hammer.
Yeah, Venom with 2 hammers, even worse. So yeah, if I'm Ryan here, I just say, yeah, cool, I'm done.
Me too. But he still hasn't thrown that tick down.
Yeah. He's probably again considering options, going through the math of okay, I get the scenario in this instance, and then what did he do with the sword push?
He's did it. He made well, what we think is the right move anyway.
Yeah.
And so at the end of round two, we have 4 points going to Ryan because he owns the sword spaces, and three to Jaborf. That makes it 9-5, 4 point lead.
Mm-hmm.
Rather strong. Not commanding, I'd say, but rather strong. Now,
Wrong.
Ryan gets to do a move.
It is recoverable for Jaborf. Now, push-wise, I'd be eyeing off Enchantress and going away with you. But Gwen's another good option. I don't know if moving Venom is a good idea because, like we talked about, you push him in either direction, it just gets him more relevant. The placement by Venom initially was great that he couldn't be pushed back towards
Yeah,
Jabor's forward
it's really
edge,
good.
but yeah, left or right now, I would leave Venom exactly where he is.
Yeah. Well, I could think of it. I wouldn't move Enchantress because she could still beam quite handily. To me,
Yeah,
I would do what he did before, is just keep moving Ghost Spider back.
yeah, yeah, and then she's totally irrelevant. She's still got a hammer, but yeah, get her out. She's a long mover. She then has to decide: do I just attack Toad or do I, double walk onto a point? Um, Yeah, I'd be measuring personally if it was me. I'd be looking at Enchantress, going, if I push her small, where does that put her? Where can I get her? I don't think Venom is the right answer here, but
No, I really don't.
I'm not in the top eight, so
Exactly. I keep saying that to myself as well. What do I know? Although when you watch games, I think you're better at them than when you're in the midst of playing them.
you do see things because, yeah, as we heard from Shadow Marvel in his playing game against Pat, he just had tunnel vision and
Right.
forgot certain triggers of the list, which can happen. It's totally understandable. You're in the midst of it. Um,
All
I
right. With
think
this,
that's risky.
yeah, with this move here, it looks like Ryan is trying to hold the right flank entirely to himself. Maybe he got worried because he's already got two of Jabor's characters there.
Yeah, and Gwen's on her injured side now. So is she in? Because I can't see with the
Oh,
top
she
down.
looks
Does
in. Yeah, maybe you're right. It's top down might not be letting us. Let me see if I can.
Yep, she's in. So that green highlight feature, which you have on the templates now, will if you have a range ruler and you hold and drag and put your cursor over the target character, it'll highlight green if they're in range.
Well, that
So
might have been a blunder then of Brian's.
yeah, that's what I was saying. Is risky to do a push of Venom because now he can just spend to web snare Okoye within range and start snacking on her.
Want to give
But
another.
yeah, here we go.
Yeah,
The
here's the
double
beam.
beam.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
saw this. Great
I think
job
that's
by.
his head option.
Yeah, sure. I was just saying, great job by the table judge, Milo Man, working the system, making the hard calls. Good to have live referee there, right there, to make sure these games go nice, smooth, and cleanly.
Well, and AJ as the line judge as well to catch anything else because you and I had a conversation about refereeing and in sport and things as well where
Mm.
the judge on the ground focusing on a certain part of the action may miss something in the periphery. So it
Yep.
is useful to have that line judge as well.
100%. When I used to do head judging at War Machine events, you're so focused on what the players are doing to make sure all the rules are being done right. It's always good to
Mm.
have somebody over your shoulder looking at the wider game, making sure that there isn't something that's been overlooked.
Yeah, so many spiders. Yeah, so many spider snacks potentially there. But I think the Enchantress activation is the one I'd be going for, just looking to because now for Jaborth to come back, he needs to flip this. He needs to be the one activating last and take control of the sword console. Removing Gwen will allow him because then it'll be four, and then Gwen or Venom on Jaborth's side has the ability to potentially remove Toad as well. So if Jaborth can remove two of Ryan's characters this round, he could potentially swing it back.
All right, dice rolls are happening. I'm not sure who the target is just yet. Ooh, three
So
blanks.
3 blanks. It could be either of the spider peoples.
Two
1,
hits.
2, 5. So that's probably an enchantress beam, 5 dice.
Yeah,
Wild with a staff. She rolled in the crit, which is a skull.
yeah. Two hits.
So
Two hits go through.
Gwen,
He's
did
going after
Ryan
Gwen. Yeah.
use? I know it's not mandatory. Did he do the leadership reroll on Gwen?
I think he did, and I think it ran into another. I heard the noise, and I think it might have just gone
Or
into another blank.
from 3 blanks into another blank? That is gonna sting. Yeah, could be a big turn for Enchantress. Exactly right, Chewy, and that's what I was looking at. Like he needs to do something aggressive here. The double beam, I think, is the correct.
So
Here we
four
go.
hits.
So
Sorry, three hits. Three saves. So there was nothing gone through that time against
and no
Spider-Man.
wild staff either.
Yeah.
I
Boy,
think he does
Enchantress
it
has got a
again.
yeah for sure, and he's got loads of power now. Golly, 6 power.
Mm.
Sploosh mentioning about Lifesaver.
Yeah, and he's right. Absolutely. Ryan's Gwen could have used Lifesaver to pull Peter Parker out of the beam, but Peter's fully healthy with Spider Sense rerolls. Maybe he wanted to generate some power to be able to slap back potentially. Not sure what Ryan's thinking here. Maybe he just forgot, but absolutely he could have done that.
All right, Ryan again with a bad defense roll. No shays.
Ooh, two
Jaborf's
skulls,
got
but
4. Ooh.
he can re-roll the skull because
He's
he's
contesting.
contesting an objective.
One
He's
save.
re-rolled the hit into a block. So
Yeah,
4 successes on Jaborf's
and that's it.
KO'd, as we
Ooh,
talked about.
and 2 saps.
2 stats, yeah. So Enchantress is going to be flush on power.
Whew.
And this is what we talked about, that moving her up to the top end to double beam, remove a character, and then have all the power to do what she needs, was to me the best option for him at the time.
Another solid hit. Three hits so far.
And a wild sap. No successes on Ryan so
Oh,
far.
oh no! 5 hits going into no
Ooh.
successes on the saves. That's
Let's
gonna
see, does he
hurt.
do the rerolls?
I think I heard him do the reroll. Yeah.
Okay, so he's rerolled. Wow, his rerolls on defense have not done anything for him.
No.
So now Jaborf is full up on power. I think Enchantress has a throw. If that car is size 2, you throw that at Peter and
Yeah.
either force him to play brace or
Yep. There it
save him as well.
goes. Who's he? What is he gonna throw? The quad? No, he's gonna
Yep.
throw the car.
Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah, but he's got brace. There
Yeah.
comes brace. Of
Yeah.
course. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And now you just bow him off, flip the point, and say your move, Mr. Farmer.
Wow. Farmer's lucky that Spider-Man didn't get dazed there.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah. So here we go.
complete disaster.
Yeah. Here's the bow. So he spent 2 for the throw, took him down to 8, spent 2 for the bow down to 6. I expect he'll spend 1 more power and just flip that console guaranteed.
Yeah. Do you think he should have moved Spider-Man lower so that Miles? Well, I guess he does. What's the range of Spider-Man's attacks? Threes? Let's see.
3.
Threes. Okay.
I think Peter Parker is 2 for a builder, 4 for an impact webbing. Can't remember what his spender is, but Miles has a range 3 builder.
Okay. So yeah, he can't use the range 2 then against
Yeah.
Jaborf's Miles. So, all right. Big momentum
Yeah.
there.
Yep. They spend the other power, so that top console now belongs to Jaborf.
Correct. Yeah. It's a
Massive.
good start. Good start to the turn for Jaborf.
Yeah.
Where is Ryan going to? Does he use Peter Parker now? He's got all that power, but he wants to reserve him to flip that console if he can towards
Yeah,
the end of
I
the
would be
turn.
looking at maybe Toad now because Toad's likely to get zapped. So can you make him relevant? Can you do a Venom Blast into sorry, not a Venom Blast, Spit Acid, sorry, because it's
Mm-hmm.
in energy. I'm getting a bit confused. So Toad
Yeah.
could do an Incinerate. Maybe do an Incinerate on Venom so that if he gets within range of Okoye and she doesn't die, she can then throw dice at him when he's rolling 1 defense.
So
Um,
Venom's though has the snacks thing. He's got enough power to pay for it. The
mm,
reactive. So that's not going to be good for
yeah.
Toad.
No, but more about the incinerate, because Toad's going to go either way. You've got Venom and you've got Gwen sitting there either side. I think you may as well make Toad relevant. You either move him, flip that middle console and run like a coward, um, or you do an attack, try and maybe push. So Ryan's got some options here, some uh, tough decisions to make, but it's a close game.
Yeah, yeah. If Jaborf swings this turn his way, then it definitely will stay nice and tight. But Ryan gets it, it'd be
Yeah.
a different story.
I wonder if Toad is currently within range 2 of that center console, because he could just flip it guaranteed right now and run.
Yeah, he sure could. But I
And
find that
then,
not terribly useful because then you abandon it, and so that the other team can just you wasted action getting into position, but then they just get it back again.
so hear me out here. So Ryan's currently got the bottom one.
Yeah.
Jabor's got the top one and the middle one. So if Toad flipped the middle one, Jaborf would have to deal with it because there's a possibility that Farmer reclaims the top one, and I think he's pretty safe on the bottom. So I think Toad flipping that middle console gives them 2-1. He then has to deal with it. Sure, it may be Gwen moves and then moves again, but he has to do something about it. He can't just abandon that as well.
I agree. Okay.
So let's see what the farmer here does.
He's thinking about it.
Looking, yeah. Personally, I think you leave the bottom two at the moment, and it's either I personally would go Toad because he's going to get removed. You may
Yeah,
as well get stomach out of him.
agreed. Yeah. And that then would dictate, help you understand what you need to do with your remaining characters once you see who
Yeah,
activates to take out Toad.
because if you activate Peter Parker here, then Miles can react and try and throw you off again and reclaim that console, and you've wasted your turn. So I think saving Peter Parker is a good idea. And yeah, those bottom two, you could reposition Okoye down and left a bit, but I would wait to see because Venom can web snare her. But if he does, he's also endangering himself.
Big activation for Ryan. He's taking his time thinking about it.
Yeah,
Seems to be looking at Toad. Yep, sure enough.
yeah, yeah. And actually, he just saw him hover over Medpack. Peter Parker could Medpack himself as well, but
Mm.
I don't think he needs to. He could also bid arrivals onto uh, Enchantress, noting she's activated, and then he could go and have a contest with Miles up at the top. So Jaborf's Miles and Ryan's Peter Parker. That might be beneficial. But again, like I said, bid arrivals, I think one in this game is not going to be very impactful because it's not clustered. They're all quite spread out. So you're really only going to be affecting one, maybe two characters. Looking.
So they needed a bathroom break, apparently. That's what's going on.
Ah, okay. Yeah,
Different kind of thinking is happening.
that's fair. I get that. I haven't had coffee yet this morning, so
Oh,
I'm not
wow.
in need as yet. Yeah, well, being a Melburnian, we highly value our coffee culture, so I'll wait to go get one.
Yeah, the classic flat white, born in Australia.
The absolute classic here. So they've run off to do the bathroom. So let's look at this. So Jabor's got 3 hammers. He's got 3 points so far. If
Yeah.
he retains those and flips the console scenario, he can score 6 points this turn, put him up to 11. Ryan has 1 hammer. If
Yep.
he manages to retain that, he'll go to 10. So at the end of round 3, we could have Jabor back in the lead. Whiskey Warlord. Properly, it's Avo lattes, okay? After
That
Melbourne
is
night
some,
about that.
yeah, I can see some local referencing going on there that completely lost on the Northern Hemisphere.
Yeah, we won't get into some of the ridiculous coffee concepts that have come out in Australia because just don't give them any attention. Okay. That's interesting. Is he looking at Webline pulling Miles towards Peter Parker? That's interesting.
How's that I mean, clearly that way he can attack him, but why would you? What does that get
Yeah,
him? Is it just so you get two
it gets
attacks?
you. Yeah, I don't like. How does that get you the victory points you need? How does that enhance
Yeah,
your
right,
scenario position?
right.
Um,
It's a hammer
he'd spend
effect.
maybe he'd spend 2 power to webline him and then attack him. I think you leave him because, as we've talked about, Ryan's game plan was clearly to go after the sword consoles to win that way, and I think that was the right call because if he loses the consoles now, he could lose the lead, and then that push could really just seal the deal and put Jaborf back on top. So personally, I'd be looking Toad, get some actions out of him, make him annoying for Jaborf, and then you know see what happens there. Yeah, Trav, I think going for the days is a triple E play, and it's risky. Um,
I
what if he
agree.
doesn't get it? His
Yeah.
dice have been pretty awful. Miles has Spider Sense and the leadership, so he's got 3 rerolls. I don't know if Peter Parker can do it
On the other
because
hand,
Hmm?
if he doesn't go after, it doesn't activate Peter
What?
Parker, then Peter Parker's going to get dazed this turn. Ooh, he's
Yeah,
doing bitter rivals.
Peter rivals. So
So
yeah, he's
doing the triple E.
affecting. Yeah, so he's put it on Enchantress. So Miles is gonna be debuffed. But the thing is, okay, so he's long moving on to the point. Yeah, and now he's gonna get 1 attack.
All right, this is a
Oh,
big roll. There's a
well,
lot
he's
of
not
dice
popped
involved.
or up.
So yeah, how many dice are we rolling here? Let's take a look. He's going to be rolling 5 dice plus 2 for the bitter rivals, right? So that's 7.
Oh no. So bitter rivals, no, it's all webbed up that gives him the additional attack dice. Bitter rivals will just debuff
Yeah.
Miles. So Miles will roll 1 less on defense and attack.
Okay.
If he pops all webbed up, then he'll get the additional attack dice. But I'm not sure what Ryan's trying to do here because Enchantress is still on the point. Miles is yet to activate. So I'm not
Okay.
sure what he's
Here's the
trying to
roll.
achieve.
Just try to get this one attack to do the job. Uh,
So yeah, not a great roll from
no.
Ryan. He's got 2 successes so far, and Jaborf has 1 success, and he's got rerolls. So
Yeah.
here comes the defensive reroll, probably
And
from leadership first.
no. So he
So
takes a hit.
back, but he's got another set of rerolls from the Spider Sense if he remembers. Yep, so he's rerolling it again.
Nice one. Oh, there he
Yep,
gets
two
it.
blocks.
2 saves.
As I talked about, that the attack is risky.
Yeah. Sure.
So he's moved his attack. Now Ryan potentially has to spend a power to try and flip the console, and it's a 50-50 roll.
Yeah.
But then Miles is
Which,
going to activate,
yeah.
potentially throw him off or daze him, and
Right.
then guaranteed flip it back.
Yep. So I haven't heard the dice roll just yet. So, oh, there it goes. He's paid. Ooh, no, he spent 2 now. Oh, med packed himself.
Medpack.
Med
Yeah.
packed makes more
So
sense
now he
because
can't flip the console.
yeah, I can't flip the console, but he'll actually be there. I'm not sure if I would have done all that. Again, we were talking about this about sword being the way to win this, and you know, I don't know. Oh, he's flipped advanced R&D now too.
Popping all his tactic cards. That's Oh, he got it. He got the console.
There you
I
go.
still don't think he retains that one though, because
No,
all you need to do is then I
precisely.
wouldn't activate Miles next if I was Jaborf. If I was Jaborf, I'd go potentially
We're
Gwen,
done. Yeah.
just remove Toad from
Yep.
the game, and then look at where do I need to go.
100%.
Probably to the bottom.
Because if Jaborf can preserve the middle console
Hmm.
being his, which right now is vulnerable, it's a big move forward. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
because I mean he's got the top one solved. He just moves Peter Parker off of there and flips it. And see, does he have enough power to do that? He doesn't have enough power to do that. He only has two.
Um,
You could hit him
well,
once.
he could webline kick him and try and get that wild
Yeah.
because Miles doesn't have a displacement except for on his builder. He's rolling one less attack die, so he'd need to double attack with, it's hard to unseat Peter Parker, but there's no rush. So, Venom's another option. Gwen could long move up and then webline him.
Oh, maybe that's what's happening.
Hmm. Yeah. I still think, given that Toad is injured, if I was Jaborf, I'd just remove that. And then Ryan's only got 3 characters on the table to his 4. And then Jaborf is in the strong position with 3 hammers activating last to be able to dominate the sword scenario. And then, the 3-0 score with the push then really starts to swing it back his way.
Oh, he's thinking it through, though.
Yeah.
Venom. Checking out Venom's possibility here. But you're so right. Once the characters are all activated, you just don't have to worry about them any longer. I tend to focus on the ones that are still going to be able to do something to make sure that I can minimize the advantage they can bring.
And look, and the comment was made in the chat as well about, flipping priority, because if you daze or remove a character that's already activated, you're not necessarily affecting priority. So he's got to consider that as well.
Okay. As we were talking about, he's thinking through all the options. He's looked at Gwen doing something. He's looked at Venom doing something, but he seems to be focused on Peter Parker here.
Yeah, and like we said, Peter's gone. There's no one up top that Jaborf needs to worry about just yet. He could just hold off Miles, but we'll see. What's he looking at doing here?
I don't know. He's measured everything, so I think he just makes the decision now.
Yeah, interesting by Ryan popping all the tactics cards and activating Peter Parker when Miles can still react. I think that would have been something I would have done differently, is just let Peter Parker till later, potentially force Miles to activate, and then he could go and try and remove them.
I think the Venom play is off the table. That does not look like he's going to be within 4.
No, I don't think so, but he could move,
Double move and
or he
move
could double move, go
pull
to
him
the
off.
one at the top side of that console and then pull him towards,
Right.
and then Miles can just flip the console without it rolling a die.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
Now he's thinking about going after Okoye instead.
Well, no, I think he's looking also at Ryan's Miles, the ability for him to web swing towards the middle and then attack.
We'll try to flip
which
it.
is interesting. Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, he could web swing, attack, and still move to get onto that center console.
Back to
So
thinking
Gwen
about
can
Gwen.
double move.
Yeah.
But she doesn't really need to. Can we just double check if you can change the view? Who's currently got which consoles?
Sure thing.
I think that'll give us a good insight onto what needs to happen. So the bottom one, no surprise, belongs to Ryan with Miles and Okoye there. The middle one belongs to Jaborf. And the top one is Ryan's currently.
Yes.
So currently Ryan's got 2-1. Activations wise, it's 3 apiece, with Jaborf still at the moment not going to activate last unless he does something about Toad. So it's not lost for Ryan, where if Jaborf goes and doesn't remove Toad, Ryan may still be able to activate last and save the sword scenario.
Tough call here.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of options to
So
deal with the top. Oop.
yeah. All right. So he's moving within one. I don't like this measurement placement. It's not very nice and neat because he's moving the template. He's moved
Yeah,
the piece.
that's
I
not
look
good.
at that as untidy. If
Yeah,
he's not within one, that's on him because he didn't measure it that way.
right,
Um, where if you were going for range 4, just put the template, go, that's what I'm going for, you know?
right. Exactly. State your intent, make a decision on which is the more important
Yeah,
option for you.
yeah.
Need to,
And we don't know what they're saying because they may do that. And I had that discussion with Pat at the beginning of our game. Hey, for this game, if I put out the templates and we're clear that that's fine and I saved intent, same for you, and we agreed that, yeah, if you have the templates out, we agree, you state the intent, then you can adjust. But then
exactly.
moving templates afterwards is, yeah.
Ooh,
Ooh,
Ryan rolled three
what?
skulls. He's doing so poorly. Um,
What?
wow.
So
Nothing.
wow, his dice just hated on him. So I'm assuming it's an impact webbing then.
Yeah, because he got
5
dazed.
dice.
Oof.
He definitely got the. Well, that's another option. Don't actually have to web line him off the point. You can just daze
Just
him.
kill him. Just daze him. Why not? Casually daze him. Um,
So
does she stay down
that
there then
won't.
to hold that point
Yeah,
if she's on one?
I think so. There's no need for her to do anything else. She's moved, she's attacked. Um, So I think this is what we talked about earlier in the match, where this is a key point where it'd be very easy for most players to become tilted. Ryan has shown in previous games that he can retain his composure. Um, we'll see what happens here and what decisions he makes. So Gwen, I think that was a decent activation. Does she
Yeah,
need to be on the middle point when he already owns it? Probably not.
no,
Um,
it'd be gravy. It'd be
but
gravy at this point.
yeah, but dazing Peter Parker means that when Miles activates up top, he's guaranteed to flip that console. Now, yeah, bringing Queen is very risky.
Yeah, she's got holding that one point that he's needing to stay into this.
Yeah, again, I'm coming back to Toad. He hasn't looked at Toad. I would
I
look at,
know.
is Toad within 2 of that console? Because if he
Golly.
can just try and flip it straight away, it's what I would have done guaranteed. But, he can move Tongue Lash Gwen, try and push her. He needs the wild and then take the console, but it's risky because then Venom's there. But if you can keep Venom central again, he's largely been irrelevant.
Yeah, Travis, we were saying
Yeah,
that with the energy ability that she has, Venom is vulnerable.
but 7 health, he can retaliate. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily risk it because she's holding a VP. And that's why I said earlier as well that Toad could acid spit, but has he just spent power? Oh,
Yeah,
he's gonna
Toad.
hop.
Ooh,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
has to. That's what it was. It is
yeah,
outside of two.
yeah. Because I was looking at, he could spend to do an acid spit onto Venom, and then if Okoye goes after Venom, he's rolling 1 defense die against energy. But I thought he just spent power because I thought Toad had a lot more power than that.
Well, you figure then it would be a hop and then to try to flip that, but whew,
Yeah.
maybe it's still happening.
Again, not being able to see the chat is
Yeah, here we go.
yeah, he must have. Yeah,
Must have done a hop.
yeah. Again, would have been nice to have the template laid down and just to be sure on certain things, but yeah, that.
That's fine.
Okay, what's he doing?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe he wants to move to the back of the house, but I mean, he didn't put the measuring template down, so
Well, yeah. So what does he do? He's hot. Does he attack Gwen and try and push her with a tongue lash, and
why?
then flip it and then
Oh,
move?
because of that. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
That's it. That's what it is. To try
yeah.
to have a free flip.
Yeah, exactly. If he gets that wild push, because that's what happened with Shadow Marvel and Pat. That Toad did the attack, got the wild. He could have pushed him off the point, and then
She's
guaranteed
off.
flipped it.
She's
Oh,
not in
he's off.
within one, apparently.
Excellent. Even easier. So now I think you just run.
Yeah, job done. Although again, he might be wanting to sacrifice him there to force the dice roll to flip it back.
Yeah, well, look, Venom could do a web snare and then just move on to the point and flip it. Um,
Sure.
he could attack him and remove him and move on the point and flip it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think Ryan's looking like he's going to lose. Yes, Toad is injured, but I don't think the sword scenario talks about whether it's healthy characters contesting. So someone might know better than me that in this scenario for sword, if you have a character, regardless of healthy or injured, if they're on the point, they're still, yeah, sword doesn't care.
Just
So
enemy
he's
count.
still contesting. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I checked that earlier as well, Chewy. I was looking at it myself thinking, does it matter? Sword doesn't care.
All right. So we're still
You,
thinking about Toad, right? Or is Toad? No, Toad's finished. He did nothing
you
else.
picked him, which, there's no point attacking Venom because you're just going to get snapped out of activation.
Yeah,
Um,
he's done his
interesting.
job. He's done his job, and it's just going to sit there then and be annoying.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So
Hmm.
Jaborf is up now. He's got Miles and Venom left. Miles needs to flip that console at the minimum.
Which he can do guaranteed because Peter Parker's dazed.
Right.
So he could do
So
that first up.
first, and then what is he up to? Taking out Toad? I mean, why leave? I was gonna say, why leave that point? He's still got to take out Peter next turn, but maybe.
Yeah, but he could do that. He could leave the point and use the sword push if he gets it to push Peter away, forcing Peter to come back onto the point, and Enchantress is there. And then you can still react with Gwen, with Miles. Jaborf's actually got a good, strong position now.
Ooh,
Ooh, what's going on there?
don't know.
Yeah, so Miles can move and attack Toad. That's easy. Why is he going there, though?
So he doesn't get pushed around, maybe? But by whom?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
He's desperate to measure that 3. Does he want to pull Toad over there?
Well, Miles can't do that.
Bitter rivals range, but why?
Ah,
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Ryan needs to try to do something in the middle. Jaborf needs to protect that middle somehow.
hmm. Force him to bring Miles in. Koi,
But I mean, the
Venom.
way I see it, couldn't you just take Miles, flip the top console, and then move him to contest the bottom one, so that Okoye or Miles doesn't have an easy time of flipping it, and then have
Yeah,
Venom,
yeah, I think so.
and then have Venom either have to flip it again or to kill those people that have, or daze those people that have come up.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he's actually already guaranteed flip the top console because he'd want to remember that.
Good
And then,
Lord,
yeah,
I hope so.
yeah,
That would have been that'd be disastrous.
yeah. But Chad is right that the bitter rivals is on Enchantress, and he's probably looking to get out. But you know
Yeah, but it's
what's
over
the
next turn.
so what?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's he trying to achieve here? Is he going to try and attack Toad, or is he going to go try and flip that console back? Um,
Right. Again, it's all about the sword base here.
Yeah, it really is, and it just further, hammers home the point made on the Danger Room podcast about um, the scenario in general.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt you. He's remembered. Thank
Yep,
God.
yep, I see that. I see the Web Warriors token come out.
Yeah, but yeah, if you haven't heard, the Danger Room did a whole episode this week about Sword and examined it pretty
Mm,
carefully.
yeah, and Ryan did mention it on his podcast, The Strike Better, as well, in their latest episode that they talked about it some time ago. And there's some real perils with this crisis. Yeah, so I'm wondering what he's measuring here. What is he looking at? What's going through his mind? A lot of the times it'd be great to kind of get inside their heads and say, what were you thinking here? What were you looking at? So he
Looks like
double moves.
double moves. Yep. And then
Yep.
he has the power to try to flip it. So see how lucky he gets.
Yeah, it's a 50-50, which is fine because as was mentioned there, that Venom can throw someone off the point during his activation. So dice roll.
And he's lucky.
Got it.
This time
Yep.
he's lucky. He hasn't been until now, but this time,
Yeah.
crucial one.
So that's 2 consoles to Jaborf currently.
Yes, he owns the top and the center ones.
Yeah.
All
Oh, is he
right.
gonna web line out? Does he have power to do that?
No. He spent one power to do the top one, and then
Yeah.
moved twice and spent
Yeah.
another to do the middle one.
Yeah. That's what I thought. Yeah. Okay, so now Ryan has some tough decisions. Yeah. I think Trav going after Venom with Okoye is a terrible idea at the moment. Going straight for the console is better
Yeah.
because if she attacks Venom, he can retaliate out of turn because she's not going to daze him in one attack. He's got the power for so many snacks. 7 health pool, like Okoye is disgusting, but I don't think she's going to push through 7 damage on one attack, on a 5 dice attack. It
So
could happen to
if
Okoye.
she tries to flip this, it really big difference because if she does not flip it, then Venom can focus down on Miles. If she does flip it, then Venom's got to get up there and flip it back. Although Ryan seems to be clever and is going to probably maybe put her in a place that Venom can't get within one. Huh. That would be
Yeah.
nasty.
Yeah. So the problem is that if he puts the base there so Venom can't get on, he's still got enough power to web snare off. So what we're talking about in the chat somewhat is that Okoye, yes, maybe she could have double spear blasted, but after the first attack, Venom could retaliate so many snacks and use his spender We Are Venom to heal himself as well, which feels real bad if you've just pushed 4 or 5 damage and he's got 7 health or stamina.
All right. Here comes the roll.
I don't
Okoye.
think trying to blast Venom was the correct call. I think going for the console is the only way that
He gets
Ryan
it.
kind of
He gets it.
can retain this. But yeah, Venom going next, he's likely just going to snack on Toad or Okoye, throw them off, web snare off, and just take that point.
I don't think he fits in there. I wonder if that's what he's thinking to do. He's got to get out of there. I mean, he's got to get one of those 2
We
characters
lost
out of there.
connection.
No, you still there? Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello, hello? Can folks still hear us? Oh, okay. Cool, thanks. I will tell Josh. We can't hear you anymore. Josh, if you say something. Can you hear us, Josh? All right. Sorry about that. So getting back to the game while he tries to Josh. Let's see if he's figuring this out. Yeah, he's been disconnected. But while he's getting back into the game, I'll see what we can do here. So it looks like Venom is attacking Okoye. Okoye's got wood save. Not the greatest hit from Venom. Only 2 hits. So Okoye takes 1. And a bleed. And does he do it again? Does he go have another hit? The problem is he needs to flip that console. Whether this happens now is a question about whether he's going to be in range. Oh, okay, so he's going to pull one of them out of the way so he can move in there. Sure. Interesting that he tried to do the hits first. All right.
Sounds like I've got you back. Let's
Can
try and
you?
get that camera on again.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep, I've
Okay,
got you.
cool. I'll catch you up. Basically, Venom attacked Okoye, only did one hit point and put a bleed on her. He's now dragged Toad out of the area so that he can
Hmm.
probably move in and try to flip it, which is important because if he flips this, I don't think Miles then move him out of the way to try to do it as well. Can he hit? Does he enough power to pull off both? Oh, okay, well then he gets a free one. Yeah, okay, beg your pardon. He can pull off both. So now it's definitely his.
Mm.
Excellent.
Yeah, okay, so Venom's doing a double web snare to get them off the point, and then he'll have one power left to flip the console.
Very good.
Mm.
Maybe the point of hitting Okoye was to get enough power to be able to do this.
Yeah.
But still, why not just hit a Toad? He's a lot easier to hit and might have been able to knock him out.
Yeah?
You know?
Yeah. Okoye within range. Was she within range too?
Yeah, she was. She was getting
Yeah.
blasts.
Yeah. So that's a tough one. And yes, she can bodyguard Toad. They were in range too, but then she's spending power as well.
Precisely.
And, I keep coming back to the point at the beginning of the game that this is a very power starving scenario. So if you denied Okoye power because she had to, bodyguard, then cool. But yeah, the comment, if he gets the hammer too, would have been really, really bad for Ryan.
Yeah. I tend to do that as well. I always go after the target I really do want to attack, even if
Mm.
the bodyguard's on the table, because at least then you spend power. Because if you're
Yeah.
going to attack, you're going to have to acknowledge the fact that the bodyguard's going to happen. So might as well get something out of
Mm.
it.
Yeah, that's still in range too. You can see the base highlighted green there as the feature I was talking about earlier. So
Yep.
Okoye is still within range two of Venom.
All right. Now Ryan's got just Miles left to go. Whether he's now, I was going to ask before, is he able to get Venom dragged out of there?
I don't think so because the only displacement Miles has is the throw on his builder, which requires a wild trigger.
Okay.
He can web line, so he can move, spend two, web swing into the middle, do an attack and maybe throw someone off, but he's not going to get, because where Venom is, he's butted up against Miles and Gwen. It's not going to remove him from the point. Miles was also on the point. He'd have to do a 50-50 flip.
Okay. So what does he do then if he can't get him out of there?
But I think he's going to come up and try.
Hmm.
Miles doesn't have a hammer, but it now turns into that dog pile on the middle. He can abandon that bottom console
Sure.
for now because, then Jaborf, Miles, or Gwen would have to go and get it. But I think if he's all in the middle, he's got a chance.
Of course, this does play into Jaborf's hands. We said at the beginning that Jaborf wants a concentration of characters and Ryan wants to split them.
Yeah,
All
but
right, so there was
if
a web snare, or what is it called?
web swing.
Web swing, thank you.
So if Ryan manages to flip this, he'll gain another 4 points and put him up to 13, and Jaborf will go to 8, and then it's within grasp. But if it goes the way we talked about, it'll be 11 to Jaborf, 10 to Ryan, and then he's in a bad spot with central characters in trouble.
Hmm. Let's see. Not sure what's good. Some movement going on Venom for some reason.
I think he was just the base was wobbling a lot on that center point
Okay.
for some reason.
Centered it up. Okay.
He was within 2 of Okoye. I guess maybe Ryan's measuring now to make sure Miles will be in bodyguard range.
Yeah. I think they had agreed on that earlier, and so maybe they're
Mm.
trying to make sure it's in the same spot.
Mm.
I love the animated graphics on these strike better tokens.
Yeah, it's
Tools.
very nice.
Yeah, very subtle.
Okay, so I think, yeah, Miles, he's done a web swing. His first action is to move.
Yep.
He probably does an attack here into someone because he's got range 3 and he'll add 2 dice. And then tries to flip the console 50-50,
Yeah.
generate some power.
Let's see who it goes after. It could be Miles or Gwen, really.
Into
Thank you.
Miles there. Thank
Into
you for
Miles.
pinging.
Thank you
Miles
very
into
much.
Miles. Here we go.
Right.
And I don't think attacking Venom would be a smart call at this point. So
Brian
only
again.
2, but did get the wild. So he's going to throw Miles off.
Yeah. Sure.
And then Jaborf's blocked it. So no damage goes in. He
Right.
does get the throw.
So he still has to throw a die to figure out if he gets this.
Yeah, exactly. Sure. I don't know if that's being shared, your chat, by the way.
Yeah. All right. And ooh, I think it was a failure. I saw a skull come up and then went right away. Ryan must not have been happy with that.
Yeah.
Okay. That is the end of the turn.
Yep, 10, so you're right.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. What a game. What a game. This is now back in, basically, they're tied, essentially. Jaborf's winning by 1. Jaborf now gets the first time to throw somebody, not throw somebody, but push somebody off of the sword. Console ability.
Yep.
And who does he do?
Who's
a problem here?
It depends what he wants to do. So is his idea to remove someone straight away or to make them irrelevant? So he could look at Peter Parker and go, off the point, you now need to waste an action to get on here.
Yeah.
Or Miles, I don't know if that's correct, especially given his mobility and where he is. Toad, just further remove him entirely from the game or bring him in just so Venom can KO him with an attack.
Yeah. I liked your idea about Parker, moving Parker, because that nullifies his long movement ability. You're kind of wasting just for a couple of inches. You're wasting a long move just to get one attack in. On the other hand, Enchantress is not going to KO him.
You say that. Stranger things have happened. Yeah, I'd be looking at Parker and just pushing him away and going, cool, you now need to come back onto the point, because the Central is kind of the way Jaborf wants it, like we talked about.
Yeah.
Venom in the middle, Gwen's there, his Miles is close by. I think, yeah.
I do like that idea. Maybe bring Peter Parker towards Venom rather than just away.
That's another good option. Yep. Bring him into the middle, and then if anyone can remove Peter Parker, it's Venom.
No, he wants to put her in range of Gwen, which is kind of what I was thinking. But Gwen's the only one who'll be able to touch him. Venom wouldn't be able to do it. Okay.
Range 3. Okay.
Yeah, it's range 3. Let's see.
I wonder why range 3, because Gwen's range 4. Peter Parker's Spender Taser Webs is range 3, but he's also got Impact Webbing and a range 2 strike. So I'm not sure why range 3. Web line doesn't matter. Yeah.
That's web lines 4 as well.
Yeah, so I'm not sure. Same for Peter Parker. So I don't know why he's measuring 3. I'll be curious.
Webbed up, all webbed up.
There you go.
That's it.
Has he played it?
Not yet.
Was it all webbed up? Yep.
There it goes.
It's Yeah, yep, there it
Clever.
is. The all
Very
webbed
good.
up. That's gonna hurt.
Ooh, we were talking
Yeah,
about, he hasn't shown it, but the Matador is now making his appearance. His true colors is showing as you see the control
yeah,
happening here. He's
yeah, that's
hold on to
massive.
those, yeah, he's held on to those cards. He's maneuvered all these people into position, and now he's played all webbed up for maximum effect off of
Yeah,
Ghost Spider. Woof.
that's huge. So not only is Peter Parker off the point, but he's moving small. So essentially staggered him there.
Hmm. So now Jaborf now has priority.
Hmm.
He should be able to. Well, who does he attack? Who's going to be the most problematic? He could take out Peter Parker and remove him entirely from the game, being knocked out. Or Toad, I don't think is an issue. Okoye is
No.
going to be difficult to take out. Yeah, I would
But
go for
consider how
Miles.
many dice Venom's rolling now. So Venom, 5 dice builder, plus hammer 6, plus all webbed up, 8. So if he's attacking a slow
Yes,
target, he's now rolling 8 dice.
yes. All right, let's take a look. I think he is going after Okoye. Let's take a look.
Okay.
Yep, there's 3 dice. Ryan did a little bit better. He got a crit anyway.
Yeah.
Jaborf's
So
got
4.
4 hits with a crit. He's going to get one more die thrown in there, and it turns into another hit. So 5 hits. Ryan saved 2, so 3 go through.
Oh, and blanks count for Okoye as well,
Oh,
remember?
beg
So
your
that's
pardon.
actually 3. Yeah.
Yeah, 2. Okay, so this is why she's on 1 hit point left.
Yep.
Could do another attack, and then he gets the hammer.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, he can have 2 hammers. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, he can. And that's even worse.
Or throw her. Ah.
Yeah, that's a good point because he
Yeah.
can do that.
Yep.
If he's within range 2, we know that. So he could spend 3 power, throw her into Miles, then attack Miles, try and generate another power to pick up the hammer.
Hmm.
Yuck. And then, yeah, that Venom Central was irrelevant largely the first 2.5 turns. But now, yeah, it's
Well,
really
yeah,
coming
I
back
mean,
to point
he's
line.
maneuvered everybody back into Venom, which is exactly what should not have happened.
Yeah. But losing that top point to the Enchantress double beam was massive.
Yeah, totally. That was, yeah, definitely dice have come into play here. Jaborf has had a lot of luck.
You can see the ping there.
Yes. Oh, he's thrown the hot dog cart into her. All right.
Oh
Let's see if she
dear. Yeah,
dodges these hot
you are
dogs.
correct.
Ooh,
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 2 so
ooh, ooh.
far.
Yes, saves it all.
Lost
Saves
it.
it all.
Yeah. So I think the chat was right. The throw a Koye into Miles, guaranteed days her, and Miles is
Totally.
going to make a dodge roll.
This was
Um,
bizarre. That was too
yeah,
bad. That was a. We'll have to ask him about that later in the chat when we go
yeah.
into the
I,
voicemail. 'Cause
he might not have thought about it. Maybe there was a reason, but yeah,
sure,
it
this is what
could
I want
be
to
just
ask.
that. Yeah.
Totally, could totally be the pressure. Absolutely, we've seen it. All right, question is, how does
So
he recover from this?
what's his second action? Hmm,
Yeah, I
what does he
mean,
do?
attack Okoye, pick up the hammer, and then hopefully try to deal with so many snacks
Um,
to save himself later.
Yeah, and I think removing that hot dog stand was a mistake because that was a nice backstop to stop, like Miles throwing him off the point or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, and Finger Guns is right. He doesn't need the hammer, and if Okoye activates on 1 health, she's got to bleed. She needs to deal with that. She can attack Venom, but if he takes damage, gets enough damage, he can retaliate. So I actually don't think you need to worry about Okoye so much.
So he did attack her anyway, though. And he's
Okay.
done 4 hits so far. Okoye
Hmm.
saved 2,
Hmm.
so that should be
There it
her
is.
Dazed, yes. Dazed hammer
Yep.
goes off, and he takes it. Okay. Could have gotten a bit more out of that activation, but hey.
Yeah, well that's it. He's now got 2 hammers on Venom, which is really bad for Ryan, but at least Venom's gone first. So now Ryan has the right to reply.
Yeah.
What does he do here?
um, let's try to think. He's got the bottom console. He needs another
Hmm.
console. He's not going to get the center one.
Well,
Oh,
not guaranteed.
yeah.
He could try with Toad to come up and flip it. Move, attack, try and push someone off. But yeah, I don't know what benefit that is. I wouldn't activate Parker until later. Just given if he moves up before Enchantress is activated, she can then just bow him off and flip the point back. And he's
Yep.
not going to be able to daze her in one attack, noting he flowed. It's a tough position for Ryan.
Very much so. I'm not sure he's uphill battle here. None of this looks very good.
Yeah.
Thinking of going after a Enchantress might be the best with Peter Parker. He's got enough power to spend to bypass her defenses.
Yeah, I think the other option he can consider is Miles here, attacking Gwen and trying to get the wild throw to get her away, and then doing the same thing to Venom and throwing him away, and then guaranteed the point. But it's risky and it's relying on dice. But he doesn't really have many displacement options at the moment.
No.
Parker could webline people away, but Gwen wasn't within one of the point anyway. It's just that she's now backstopping and blocking Venom
Yeah.
from being removed.
And he's moving slow. That's right.
Yep. Yeah, it absolutely has to be the consoles because the 3-0 swing is massive with the push. But 4 hammers on Jaborf with almost fully healthy characters is really tough.
I'm just thinking about it. If Jaborf holds 3 points, that brings him up to 14. He needs to hold 2 hammers and have the consoles to win this game.
Mm.
And he's got 4. 2 of which are sitting on Venom, who is hard to take out.
Yeah, and I know the chat's bringing up all webbed up, but Parker's the only one with power and able to play it at the moment, and he would need to move to be in an effective range to put a slow on everyone. It's not great. I'd be looking at Miles here. Maybe bring Toad in, attack, and just try and flip the console because what else is Toad going to do for you? Not much. Yeah. But again, Ryan's doing the right thing by taking his time and measuring and considering all his options. I'm very surprised Jaborf didn't remove Toad last round.
Yeah, it's working for him, I guess.
Yeah. So, yeah, to win this round, Ryan would need the consoles and 3 hammers. I don't think that'll happen. But yeah, Jaborf is in the lead because he has 2 consoles and all 4 hammers.
Yeah. Whew.
Still got Medpack, still got Lethal Protector, still got Bitter Rivals, but yeah, no real power to pay for some of them. But yeah, Enchantress has got all the power and no hammer, so she's not paying the extra tax. But
Yep.
yeah, she could have potentially during Venom's turn popped Bitter Rivals on Okoye first and just left her there. But what does Ryan do here?
I don't know. He's got to make every one of these activations super effective.
Yeah, I honestly think leave Parker for later to react. Use Toad, go in there, get an attack, and try and flip that console. and just see, and then it forces Jaborf to deal with the center console if Ryan flips it.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, he might be thinking of all webbed up, but as we said, Shui, to do that effectively, he'd have to move Parker, be in range 3, and then pop it, and then he's got one more action to do what?
Yeah,
Ideally, if he gets towed to the middle console, flips it, and then Ryan's got 2. If Jaborf reacts, he can then deal with the top console later. Yeah. Look, or Miles could do it. Miles could do double attack, try and flip the console. But I think Toad, that would be my go.
So Ryan looks like he was considering removing the slow and then doing a long move, but now he's changed back to just doing a slow move.
Yeah. Again, I'd ask to what end, you know?
Yeah, looks like he's checking to see if he's going to get within 1 of that center console, but doesn't look good. I don't think there's room for him in between everything either.
Yeah, I mean, he'd need to measure off the console. And I get potentially removing the slow is good because all webbed up's in play. So, he doesn't want to be getting extra dice thrown at him by Gwen and Miles.
Sure.
But yeah, actually, that might have been a better call then to remove the slow, long move. But then, yeah, his actions are limited and he's at risk. That slow is, with the all webbed up is terrifying.
Mm-hmm. Really nasty.
And I hope they remember that too. That's something like Bitter Rivals, putting the card out on the
Yeah.
map just to remember, hey, this is in play.
A pull, push.
Okay.
Maybe he's trying to get her out of the way so he can park himself there and take the point, flip the point.
No, because I don't know if that's what he was going for because she's going to be blocked by the building. I think he's just having template trouble, to be
Oh,
honest.
template trouble, the worst kind. Yeah, something's weird going on. Oh.
Yeah, there we go. And yeah, exactly. And Chancellor's got enough power to just move and steal a hammer off somebody. Even, yeah. Nothing but bad choices.
Yeah, exactly. Oof.
Did he ping something?
I didn't see if he did. I think he's having trouble with the template. It seems like it doesn't want to come onto the table. It's like hovering above the table.
And now Jabor's having problems too?
I know. Some sort of struggle.
Yeah, they can just refresh the tray. That usually seems to sort it out.
Yes.
The old IT crowd. Have you tried turning it off and on again?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think at this point he just needs to try something.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, it's about, again, focusing on the consoles. He needs to flip 2 consoles.
Yeah, and that's it. It could be Miles activates, removes the slow, attacks Gwen, and then tries to flip the console. I would not attack Venom. Just stay well away from him. He's on there. If you can web line him off, great.
No.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Ryan's looking at with Mr. Parker here. Can Parker save the day for him? He's got enough power to double web line.
Looks like
because it cost him 2, so he could potentially web line Gwen off, which it might be what he's looking at. Then web line Venom off and double move, or shake the slow and then long move.
Okay. Looks like Ryan's reset his tools. He's got the normal tools now.
Yeah.
And they're working again, which is good news. Still looking at some sort of a push or pull, rather.
Yeah, the web line. So he does have enough power to do it twice. And web line isn't limited to once per turn, it's once per character per turn.
All right.
So he could move web line both Gwen and Venom off the point. Long move on and guaranteed flip it.
Yep.
Um,
Does he have enough power
he's looking for spinning
yeah, he
power.
would. He's got 5, so
Yeah.
he could do
Yeah.
both.
He
All
could
right.
even shake the slow as one action, and then he's got a long move, but he may, short move, double web line, short move again.
Yeah.
It's a
I think it seems fine. Be all right.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't measured the one. And this is a great play in terms of it doesn't rely on dice. And then it forces Jaborf to react to try and regain that console.
Yeah. All right. Very good, Ryan. That's very clever.
Yeah.
All right. So there's the first move. I'm assuming first pull. Push is coming. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Against them first. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Easily select back when.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I was just wondering about the order. What do you think he does?
Well, it's Venom and Gwen then move, right?
Yeah. I was wondering if he'd do Gwen first or not, just to sort of unravel the puzzle.
Okay.
Yeah, so Venom's out. Good.
That's the move. Make sure he's in there.
Oh, he's got heaps of room.
Yeah. And then the push towards him can happen. And the nice thing about the mechanic is that she keeps going even though she hits him.
Which I don't think he's actually doing. He may just leave her there because she wasn't within 1.
Oh, of course. Yeah, so he just went there and flip it. That's right. I keep forget that because of the overlay.
Actually, what he could do is if he moved slightly left to within 1, and then he's got 3 power, he could spend 2 for all webbed up to hit Miles, Venom, and Gwen, and then still have the power to flip the console. So maybe that's why he's not doing a double web line, but he's just moving in. I think getting a slow on Gwen and Miles would have been some sort of mitigation for Ryan if he'd paid for all webbed up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's still within 3 of Miles. So that might have been a good option there for him to move slightly left, hit Miles, Gwen, and Venom with all webbed up. So they're all slow because, Gwen moving short, Miles moving short kind of prevents them from running down to the bottom console and taking that off him.
Okay. So,
Horse measured it. Yeah. So I think that's a missed opportunity there for Ryan to have played all webbed up and then denied Jaborf mobility to react to the console.
Yeah. Agreed. All right. So it looks like Jaborf is going to try to take out Parker. Let's see.
Which is, dangerous with a hammer and all webbed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, all webbed up costs 2, doesn't it?
Ooh. I need to look it
up
now because they flipped it the card already, so I can't look. It tells 3 apparently, according to the chat.
Oh, okay. Then you're right. He wouldn't have had the power. I'm just taking forever to load in my thing.
Another brutal. We're saying the low power of this game is causing a lot of problems.
Yeah. So if he had an extra power, he would have been able to do that. But yeah, now Gwen looking at long moving.
Mm-hmm. What, to pull them off then?
Could be. She could go down for the bottom console because no one's sitting on that.
Oh, yes. That's easy.
That's a guaranteed.
Yeah, exactly.
But, I'm not sure. Okay.
Moves within 2 miles.
Yeah, walks, attacks, and then gets a free
move
long
to the
move
bottom.
again. Yeah.
She needs 1 power though out of this exchange, or else she's not doing much. to be able to flip that console.
Yeah.
Let's see if he's lucky. He's been lucky so
Well, yeah.
far.
Well, I mean, he's rolling extra dice, isn't he?
Yeah. Oof, not so good.
Ooh.
Two hits.
Ooh.
Two hits. Ryan saved both. Not good.
Yep.
Ouch. That was risky. Might have been better just to
Yeah.
double walk down there.
Yeah. Relying on dice. Yeah.
Ouch.
Well, yeah. She doesn't have the power she needed to generate.
Oh, she didn't have any at all. Okay, so she had to do this.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
I don't know. Then maybe I would have double hit. Just stayed there and double hit those characters. Try to daze them. Don't know.
Ooh. So what's Enchantress up to? There we go.
Bitter rivals. Bitter rivals
On
goes
to...
on Miles. Ryan's Miles.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Right on the center there. That's going to hurt.
So that means he's going to be trying to take out Parker.
Most likely. So Gwen's moved attack. She does get a free long move.
Yeah. Yeah. Does he just go to the bottom for the next turn if there is another one next turn? Or does she stay in the fight? No. Yeah, she's going to go down there.
Yeah.
Makes
Yeah. I mean,
sense.
it's a good question. Is there a next turn?
If there's the next turn, she's in a good position.
Yeah, exactly. Because she can just take that console.
Yeah. Kind of reverses the situation of where Ryan was at the start of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Chewie makes a good point. Now that she's down there, she is going to force a 50-50 roll. Oh no,
Yeah.
well, I mean, it's Ryan's point right now anyway, but still, for next time.
Yeah, because she doesn't have the power to flip it.
Okay. So, yeah, that's the end of her activation.
Mm.
Ryan has two left. Yeah, so he needs to go. So it's Toad and Miles on the table for Ryan.
Yeah.
So he's got to contend, he's got to protect that middle point in the worst way.
Yeah. And again, he's got very limited options in that, Ryan's Miles has a wild throw on his builder, and then Toad's got a wild push on his tongue lash, but that's all the displacement he's got available to him. And even then, does that prevent Jaborf just walking back on?
Right.
And let him have 4 hammers. Even if Ryan maintains the consoles, it'll be a 4-3 scoring round, which will put Jaborf to 15 and Ryan at 13. So he's in a bit of a pickle here. Oh, the template bug. So what's he doing with Toad?
Don't know. Toad needs to
Yeah.
try to, he doesn't have to take a point. It's a matter of trying to help stop that point from flipping.
Yeah, and that's where, and he needs to be cognizant that Bitter Rivals is on Miles. So if he's going to go somewhere else and go after someone else, yeah, he hasn't. I don't think he's got the range to get to that top console. If he had extra power, maybe a hop as well. But right now, I think he's going to struggle to get there.
Yeah, he has only one power. He's really limited.
Mm. But with Ryan owning the middle and the bottom console, what is more important? Should he attack other Miles, go after Gwen?
No, I don't. I think he has to focus on the middle. With bitter, with all webbed up, it's nasty. But I don't see how else he's going to try to protect that middle point.
Yeah, the combo of all webbed up and Bitter Rivals even worse. So
Yeah.
Web Warrior characters throwing 2 extra dice from all webbed up. If they've got a hammer, another one, and the defender's rolling 1 less, yeah, he's in trouble if there's a big attack roll. So you're right. I think Toad sitting on the middle point, just piling bodies on there, just makes it harder for Jaborf to come in and remove them all.
Right.
And then guaranteed flip it, because Enchantress has 4 power. But at the same time, if she moves down and she gets an easy beam on most of them, yeah, and then she can generate enough power to bow all of them off. But she would probably need to go before Miles, so he could then come and flip the point guaranteed.
Okay. Just checking range 3 on Jaborf's Miles. That's the incinerate. No.
He doesn't have power for the spit acid, no, so he still does.
Tongue lash. Yep.
Oh, we're going to see some dice rolls.
Yeah, I hope so. It's getting
Not much else he's got to do. Yeah.
Well, he's there. So is he going after Miles? I mean, he's not going to go after Venom.
No, that would be a very, very silly idea. Well, I think anyway. I think attacking Venom at all, like if he's got no power and he's activated, just leave him be.
Right. Okay, maybe now the roll.
Yep, he's cleared the dice roller.
Let's see. Yeah, so against Miles, I'd imagine. 2 hits with the crits. Let's see. Does he add any more? Jaborf did not roll very well at all. 2 hits.
Has he added the crit yet? No.
Yeah, so 4 dice. Oh, it's 4 dice. Right?
Oh, Bitter Rivals. Yeah, he would have rolled 3 initially.
Yeah.
Yep. So he didn't get the wild push that he was probably hoping for.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so Miles takes a fair amount of damage. He's at 3 out of 5, but I think that's the end of Toad. Toad, I'm going to assume, is going to spend 1 to try to flip it.
No, he
guarantees owns it. Yeah, it guarantees it. Yeah, never mind. Okay.
So I think he still held it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Parker came in and took it. So doesn't need to spend the power.
Just bodies now in the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm wondering if he's even within range 1. It's hard to tell.
It's very hard to tell here. And I'm not sure they actually tried to measure it.
No. But anyway, so Toad
did spend 1 just now. Did he spend 2? Okay.
What for?
Yeah, not
what
sure.
Have we missed?
Hopping?
Oh yeah, it could be.
Maybe that gets him into the range of it.
I'm not sure why you would want to.
Well, if he was outside of 1.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. We're going to find out now.
Interesting. Yeah, I can't tell. I assume he's trying to measure off the console.
Yeah, it looks like he's fine.
Yeah. Or maybe he's just trying to get away.
Yeah, hopping and trying to get some distance between him and the opponent's characters.
Okay.
All right. And he's done. Okie doke.
All right.
Back to Jaborf. He's got Miles and Enchantress. I'm going to assume Enchantress goes last to maintain some control.
Potentially, I would think that maybe Enchantress goes first. I'd be measuring for the beam, so a single move and a beam on all 3.
Okay, sure.
Or a double move and just, bow off 2 of them. And then Miles comes in and guaranteed flips after. But yeah, Ryan's Miles is still yet to go. So yes. You're right. Look, Enchantress could go last for the control, but she's only got 4 power. If she needs to flip, so say Miles here for Jaborf fails to flip the point, she'd need to double move.
Yeah, the Chewie's making a good point. Enchantress could move forward, try to kill Toad, and then bow the other two off of it, and then Miles goes in to flip it,
Yeah.
and that's a GG. But he's focused on Miles doing stuff.
Yeah, and Jaborf is going last this round, so it's trouble. Yeah. Yeah, Ryan still has his Miles, but Jaborf has the option here. So Miles makes sense. Go in, try and remove, do some damage, and then Enchantress comes in and cleans up at the end after Ryan's Miles activates. But you also risk potentially giving Ryan's Miles power. Yes, he's slowed, but if he has enough, he could then web swing up to the top and try and flip that. Web towards the bottom and take the bottom console still Ryan's. So even though, oh yeah, sorry, no, you're right. Jaborf Smiles could do that. He's got enough power too. So that was the other problem with
Wow.
Toad attacking him, is if he's given him the power now to web swing and still flip the console.
Yeah. Wow.
That's a GG.
Yeah. Wow.
Yep, there it is, the web swing.
Smart.
Yeah.
Real smart.
Well, there you go. So he's within one.
Flips it for free. Expensive
Mhm.
power. Wow. Okay. He has control of the
Yeah.
consoles now. And we have Miles. Miles is going to have to save the day here for Ryan.
Mm.
Is he thinking of attacking Venom to try to get those hammers? That's not going to happen.
No, I think because he's slowed, he can't make the top console. He
Yeah.
could potentially be looking at if he attacks Venom and generates some power, which he's not going to do, I don't think. Then web swing, but yeah, Ryan is in big trouble because the only way he can call this back is to go and get that top console with Enchantress just sitting right there who can bow him off and flip it. I think we're done, but let's let them play that out.
Wow. This is not how I expected it's going.
Yeah, and that Toad attack on Jaborf's Miles, giving him the power to do that, I don't think was
Yeah.
he didn't really have any other option in terms of what to do with Toad, but yeah, giving Miles power meant he'd lost that bottom console.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
But I guess he had to do something because well, I had to take that back. He had the bottom one and had the middle one. He just needed to put bodies on there so that it wouldn't be automatically flipped. He could have just walked up there and just sat there.
Mm. Yeah, I know he's probably looking at Miles. Can he go down and get that bottom console? But he's slowed. So
Yeah.
does the double move work?
No. Mm, maybe.
Uh,
Maybe.
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 And then it's a 50-50. But then Enchantress can go and take the middle one
Yeah.
50-50.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, it's possible. So I think, yeah, that's his only option is to try move down to the bottom. If he gets within one and he can flip it, then Enchantress needs to come to the middle and try and flip that one because she doesn't have enough power to bow and both of them off and to flip it.
Yeah, I know.
She's one power shy.
Someone was saying how using bitter rivals might have been a mistake for her because she had 7 power and could have done all that.
Yeah, yeah, potentially. And what impact has it made? Not too much, I think.
Brian can't make up his mind.
What was that?
He was moving towards the top. Now he's back down. He's moving to the bottom.
Yeah, I
Looks like
would not be going after a full health Enchantress.
no, and he has no power to pay for against her defense tax. All right, let's see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think he can make it within one. He just then needs to
Oh yeah,
50-50 hope for the flip.
crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, how crazy is this?
I hope he gets it so they go another round and then, and see what happens next. But
The
it's
internet.
largely Jaborf's game with all 4 extra hammers and
Yeah.
double, yeah.
All right, let's see. 50-50. What do the dice gods say? Do they smile upon Ryan? No. GG.
Poor guy. That would have felt
Oh,
real bad.
no. Oh, that's it.
That's
Game
it.
over. That's good.
Yeah,
Game over.
that's
Um,
Ryan's activation is done. Jaborf's got 2 consoles and all 4. Wow,
yeah,
that swung hard.
yeah. Ryan was doing so well. Why don't we jump into their channel, provided they are 100% finished, then we can ask a few questions. So I'll meet you over there, okay?
Okay, no worries.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was just not expecting some of my
Yeah.
characters to take as much damage as they took.
Yeah,
So
I don't
yeah,
know why. I think I can do it to attack with Ghost Spider. I don't know why.
yeah. My Ghost Spider. I mean, I'm not gonna say like you played really well. This isn't really about the dice.
Yeah.
My Ghost Spider on
Yeah.
three,
Yeah.
6 plus the reroll. I rolled
I,
one success
yeah.
on like 20
Mm,
dice,
yeah.
which feels bad. But
Yeah. My
that's the
my
game.
intention is try to focus on Ghost Spider, but I didn't expect it. I didn't expect to dazed and KO as soon as I
Yeah.
did it.
Because
So
really, I just need her for like one more full round to help me solidify the sword base, but it just didn't
yeah.
pan out. So good game, man.
Yeah,
Really,
but do you think very well the list because I don't like it as war at 14 because I expected you to use fight activation and I had troubles to think why contrarrest your strategy. So it's a beautiful game. So I have to think too much in the two
well,
first round.
the
Yeah,
map was really a huge factor too, because usually on sword, like
yeah,
this building messed me up a ton, and
yeah,
Venom having a
yes,
back messed me up a
yes.
ton too.
Very close. Yeah, yeah.
Because usually on sword, Venom is like a non-factor. I win the sword base in round.
I didn't measure this building. I didn't. So it's
Yeah,
just it's lucky for me to.
yeah, that building was
Yeah.
felt for sure. Um,
Okay.
Hey
yeah,
guys, this is Norbert. I just want to let you know that you're on the stream. I'm here with Josh, who has been co-commenting with me on the game. Thank you
Yeah.
both for letting us stream.
yeah, no
Okay.
problem.
Thank you, you too, for streaming
What a
us.
game, guys.
Yeah,
What a
thanks for
game.
streaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Ryan, let's start with you. We thought you had a very early command of the game and was very clever in that you're trying to neutralize Venom by separating your flanks to either side and leaving him kind of stuck in the middle, not really able to bring his force to bear. Was that your idea, and using sword as your way of winning?
Yeah, so a lot of times, if like I had done some practice matches and I had identified that Jaborf's squad was he either had to go unaffiliated 5 wide on sword at 14 or 4 wide with Venom or Daredevil. I'm not as scared of Daredevil, and Venom hates sword. So I liked the matchup there. I was lucky in that I won Prio and I didn't discard sword, which was super awesome.
Hmm.
Where I was not lucky was, I mean, the map was a little rough because you can't actually secure the sword base from on top of this building here, and Venom had a backstop too. So normally
Yes.
on sword, Venom can just be pushed out into the stratosphere. But yeah, you identified it. I was hoping I could take kind of these sides, and I felt in good control of the game. And I don't want to, obviously Jaborf played an exceptional game and he didn't make any mistakes at all. Really great. I was less than enthused with Ghost Spider rolling like 20 dice and
Yeah.
only getting one success.
Sure.
Because if she rolls just the average, just the mean on that stuff, and she just survives for one more round, that's an extra activation I have. Usually after she gets dazed, she has like that massive attrition round. So I was looking to bitter daze, get hammers back. I mean, all that kind of fun stuff. So it didn't end up working out, but I mean, that's how it goes. Like sometimes it just doesn't go that way.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Now, we're very curious then, Jaborf. First of all, congratulations on your win.
Thank
Masterful
you.
game by both players. We were very, puzzled about your use of Venom at the beginning. What was your strategy to try to tackle going against a team that was five wide versus your four wide into the sword scenario?
Yeah, I don't like the sword scenario, so it is the worst for me. But I thought that Ryan maybe can't have five activations, so I choose to first. I think the first round. I thought the first round we are going to lose the sword. So he's going to score 3 points. So I try to focus on the hammers and try to dash him, but my idea was to be in the central point, and then depend of the dice and on the way was in the future, move to one way or to another to try. But my idea is to dice. But in the first round, I try to focus on Ghost Spider, and I agree that I have a very good rolls to daze him in the first round, and in the two round is KO him. So um, that's a good news for me, and it's easy to control the game.
Hmm.
So I try to focus on hammer and try to daze Ghost Spider and maybe Toa to try to equalize the activation. So that's my first idea when I set up the game.
I see. Okay, so it was always about hammers for you. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, Josh, did you have some questions?
I just had one, guys. Again, congratulations for both making top eight and Jabor for winning. That was a cracking game.
Hmm.
And Ryan, especially, I've said publicly, I eat my words. You've made top eight with Corset Peter Parker. So well done to you. My question about that guy, though, is that after Jaborf had moved Enchantress, double beamed, and removed Gwen, do you think that you could have held that Peter Parker activation till later rather than having him move on and giving Jaborf the right to reply?
The big answer on that is no, because I needed Parker was at 1 health remaining,
Mm-hmm.
and I really needed him to. I mean, it didn't work out, obviously, but my mindset there was I had quite a bit of power and I had a few options to go with. I was debating and all webbed up, but I felt as though taking a die away from Miles was better than giving myself 2 dice. And regardless, I was only going to get a single attack on Miles, and I only had 1 health. And so I was trying to give myself options. And so I moved up with Peter, not to bat rep it too much. And if I could have dealt 2 damage to Miles with his only 2 dice in my 5 dice strike, which is still like not. I mean, he wrecked my Gwen, so crazier things have happened, I guess. Um, then I would have had the power to throw Miles, and because he didn't, or throw Enchantress, and because he didn't have Brace, I would have auto dazed Miles, and I would have had the power to then control that whole side, flip that med pack, all that good stuff. It
Mm.
was it was a risky play, but I felt it was stronger for me to try and do that than to let him just move up with Miles and daze Peter. Correct? Maybe not, but that was my mindset.
No, that's fair. It's a good explanation. So thank you for giving the insight, and I can totally see that. The other one that I was looking at during the game a number of times was your Toad activations. Now, to me, it looked like you were using Toad as bait and trying to keep Jaborf set in the middle while you held the flanks. So was that kind of your strategy with Toad?
Yeah, and I will admit that Toad was I added him into my roster for the end, for the cut, and I do not have as much experience with him, and that's probably my lack of experience with Toad was felt and probably a bad in the game, but I was trying to keep him fluttering in the middle because he can do that really sneaky last activation double move interact if Jaborf were to leave something alone.
Hmm.
And just trying to trap Jaborf into either attacking Toad or keeping him, because even when he's injured, he's still contesting technically for the sword base. And so I was just trying to keep him around to be flexible. I don't know if I optimally played him, but Jaborf did a really, really good job, obviously, as a Web Warrior player, not attacking me unless he absolutely had to.
Mm.
I did sort of bungle my Toad play. It figures my dice are solid when I didn't want them to be. I was trying to do a tongue lick onto Miles and just get a wild with a 3 dice bitter rival.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And to not give him at least 2 power, and I gave him exactly 2 power to lose myself the game. So
Yeah.
I felt bad,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think my Toad play could have been better. But yeah, you nailed it on the head. I was just trying to use him as a 2 threat bait distract, and then a cheeky objective snag if I had to.
And it seemed well, like, because it kept Venom central most of the time. And Jaborf, do you have any thoughts on Ryan's use of Toad and how that shifted your focus?
Sorry, man, I don't understand you.
So Ryan tried to use Toad in the middle to distract you, to keep you central. Do you have any thoughts on whether that worked or you were happy with that?
No, I don't. I didn't have impressed in Toad in the middle. So I try to focus in Okoye to try to steal the hammer and try to attack with more dice. And I try
Mm-hmm.
to. I have with Venom in with power. We have a push, so I can't. I try to attract him to the middle and force to attack him. So I with Venom with power I didn't have any. I didn't have I have happy with Venom in the middle because I have to push people. I have 4 power to push 2 people and try to interact with the middle. So I in the third and fourth round I'm trying to control the middle. I control my left side 2 encounters. So I'm happy to do that because I trying to move my one spider to the other side to try to to try to control the other side, but I didn't do any damage to Miles with 8 dice, and I can do it, but this is my plan. So
Yeah.
with Venom in the middle with power, I was happy. So
Yeah.
no problem for me, I think.
Yeah, his Venom play was really great. I was not expecting him to take Venom. I did a couple practice matches into Venom on Sword, and it's just such a bad like
There.
scenario for him. But
Another
the,
thing, I was trying to maintain my priority, so
yeah,
I was
huge.
wait to he activated someone to try to dice him. So I want to maintain the priority all
Yeah,
the all the game. So I think it's important for me.
yeah. I think it's worth noting too that like Sword base, like it was I would say it's a bit of a risk for me to take it because you do have the variance of the flips.
Mm.
But anyone who's thinking of taking Sword in their tactics card pool, just be aware that there is variance involved in it, and I felt that maybe I could control that variance a little better with a squad configuration. And I don't know how my sword based rolls came out. They felt like I had more successes than failures, and Jaborf had more failures than successes. But he still came out on top, and that's what matters.
So, final question then for you, Jaborf, before we sign off. I'm just taking a look at the two possible contenders you have for the next round, the semifinals, and it could be either Thrawn24 playing a Cabal list, or else it'd be Frederick from Sweden playing a Brotherhood list. Any concerns for either one of those lineups?
If I have sincere with you, I didn't see their list, so a priority, I think I prefer Brotherhood than Cabal, but I have to see the list. So sorry, I can answer very well because I didn't see the list.
Okay. All right. I see. I like your approach. You focus on one game at a time. No need to look too far ahead. Um,
Okay.
and this gives you the whole week now to, I'm sure, practice with your friends to
Yeah.
see what you can do. Okay, so
Okay.
I want to thank you both again for a really enjoyable game, and one that was really highly anticipated considering the unusual Web Warrior mirror match. I think there's going to be a
Okay.
lot to be said about this match after people have watched it. Thank you both for streaming it. I want to thank the audience for their participation and also very much my co-host tonight, Josh, who got up at 5 a.m. for us and was just fantastic at giving us strategic insights all throughout the game. And with that, we wish you all good night.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you for the game, Ryan. Thank you very much.
And good luck to you moving forward. Too.
Okay. See you around.
See ya.
Okay. Bye bye.